Welcome on into the Gatemen Baseball Network. A nice clear day here at Hyannis for baseball between the Gatemen and the Hyannis Harborhawks, meeting for the 5th time this year here at McKeon Park. Hi everybody, my name is Henrique Demore. To my right is JD Rauchi, and we're going to be bringing you baseball in just about half an hour. 5th meeting between these two teams. The Gatemen have the season series 3-1 and entered today 14-9, but Hyannis still on the Gatemen's heels even after a loss yesterday as the Hyannis Harborhawks dropped their contest as well. We'll start stateside though. A heartbreaking loss to the Falmouth Commodores last night, 6-4, meltdown in the 9th inning, but there were a lot of positives to take away, weren't there, JD?
Yeah, I think the middle infielders especially were something to be pretty happy with. Ryan Kreidler had himself another nice game. He continues to kind of be after a really hot start to the season, then a little bit of a lull in the middle part. He's kind of starting to find himself over the last couple of days, and you can't say much more about Sahid Valenzuela. He was excellent again, 3 for 5 with an RBI for him. And then a guy that is technically a middle infielder turned outfielder, Isaac Collins, a nice day yesterday as well. Ended up with just one hit, but it was probably the most important hit of the ball game for the Gatemen. Gave them their first runs of the game, gave them a 2-1 lead before the bullpen really was what brought them down at the end of the game.
And the bullpen brought him down at the end of the game, and a lot of defensive miscues as well. Just some errant throws, some little league-looking play from the Gatemen defensively, melted down in the 9th inning. But like you said, some positives offensively. Now, on the pitching side of things, Will Proctor had a fantastic start yesterday, and the starting pitching anyway for the Gatemen continues to look very, very solid. He's followed up a great start by Ryan Garcia. Now let's talk a little bit about Hyannis. They're 12-8-2, and they seem to keep on winning despite the second worst run differential in the Cape League, -26, second only to Roosters, -50-something, 52-54. It's abysmally bad is all you need to know about that. But Hyannis seems to have come crashing back down to earth, or maybe just Katua didn't like being manhandled by Wareham a few days ago, 8-1. They took the bats to Hyannis at Lowell Park, and they won 8-3. They were victors against Hyannis, and everybody pretty much went sound except for the usual suspects. Davis Wenzel went 2 for 5, and Matthew Barefoot, another multi-hit game for him. Trevor Hover produced, but otherwise pretty silent from the Harborhawks. But, JD, like you said, it's a pretty familiar lineup coming in today. And Todd Lott, we were talking about it before we left our house today, how he has quietly continued to be one of the better power hitters in the Cape League.
He's got 5 home runs, rivaled only by 2 guys who are no longer on the Cape. In Andrew Vaughn, of course, formerly of the Gatemen, and Spencer Torkelson, formerly of the Chatham Anglers, 2 guys that had the home run race this entire season out in the Pac-12. Torkelson at Arizona State with Vaughn at Cal, so they were expected to hit bombs coming in. Todd Lott, really not a guy you'd expect that out of, but he has had a lot of success against the Gatemen. Think back to that 9-1 victory for Hyannis the last 2 times ago when the Gatemen were at McKeon Park. He had a home run, a couple of RBIs, had a really nice game. Even in that 17-4 loss, he was one of the positives to take away from that loss for Hyannis. So he has really been consistent. But one thing I want to say about the run differential is I think the run differential for Hyannis is a little bit misleading. Because when you look at the games that they have played just against the Gatemen, and the Gatemen beat up on a lot of teams. They beat up on Bourne the other night. They beat up on Katuitt on Tuesday. When you look at the run differential, you've got a +13 run differential from just one game. So a -13 run differential for Hyannis from just that one contest with the Gatemen. And then the other two blowout win for Hyannis and the blowout loss are kind of washes. So really you have just from one team alone in 4 matchups, you have a -13 run differential. That will go in large part to, like you said, a pretty abysmal run differential. So the run differential might not be as great as we thought it was, because half of the run differential for Hyannis is coming strictly from Gatemen games.
That's a completely fair point. The Gatemen have had their fair share of success against these Harborhawks, winning in close fashion 2 matchups ago and in blowout fashion the last time they were here. Like you said, that 17-run explosion. Let's get a little more into it, though. So to give us a little bit more of a breakdown of starting lineups and starting pitching matchup, we're going to toss it to our host for today, Cam Stewart. Cam, take it away.
Thank you, Henrique. Once again, welcome into the Gatemen Pregame Show here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Wareham traveling to Hyannis today, and the Harborhawks are going to send out Gavin Hollowell for his first look at the Gatemen this year. Tall, lanky right-hander standing at 6'7" and just 205 out of St. John's. But he does throw hard. He's been topped out at 98 this year on the gun, but will live in that low 90s with a fastball-dominant repertoire. He's 1-0 on the year with a 2.13 ERA in his 2 starts. He's also made a save out of the bullpen and has struck out 14 and walked just 6 in his 12 2/3 innings. Last time out at Harwich was dominant, 5 innings, 1 run on 4 hits, walked 2 but struck out 5 in his 17 batters faced, got his only win in that outing against the Mariners. Countering's another big boy for the Gatemen, Cade Cavalli, 6'5", 220 out of Oklahoma. Still no record on the year with a .337 average. In his 3 appearances, he's made 2 starts and has struck out 9 but also walked 9 in his 8 innings pitched. His last time out was last Sunday in the loss to YD 6-5 back at Spillane. No decision, went 4, gave up 1, earned run, gave up 2 runs total on 2 hits, and again walked 3 but struck out 3 in his 19 batters faced. For more about tonight's starter, Cade Cavalli, our Mary Orders caught up with him before the game.
Thanks, guys. So, Cade, you've kind of been transitioning over the past year to 6 months or so from being a position player to being a pitcher. How do you feel like that transition has been happening or has been going so far?
It's been a good transition. There's a little bit of difference in playing a position and pitching, obviously. Like midweek, I usually spend most of my time in the cage and taking ground balls and throwing across the infield and stuff. So I had to cut that down, obviously, whenever I transitioned into a full-time pitcher for this summer. And just the midweek routines have been different. So like midweek, I'll do my arm care, throw bullpens, and I'm not hitting as much. I'm still taking a little bit of batting practice, but my main focus has just been on pitching. So the transition has been good for me.
And what do you feel like you've improved upon so far being here?
I've improved a bunch on just the mental game of pitching, and also locating my fastball. So like during the season, I would pound the zone with my fastball, but I would leave it middle a lot. And this summer, I've been locating it a little bit better, so it's been helpful.
Definitely. And lastly, do you feel like there's a difference between pitching on your home field versus pitching here or pitching away?
No, I don't really think the crowd and stuff is a little bit different because they're rooting against me or whatever, but like for me it's just me and the catcher during the game, so all I see is that mitt and I'm gonna go at it and I'm gonna attack, and that's it.
Okay, thanks so much, guys. Back to you.
Thank you.
Back here from McKeon Park, thanks as always to Mary for that report. Now time to look at the starting lineups for tonight. And for the hosts, the Hyannis Harborhawks, they'll start it off like they always do with their shortstop Davis Wenzel out of Baylor, followed by Braden Como playing second base tonight. The dangerous 3-4 combo of Matthew Barefoot and Pedro Pages, and then Seth Gray over at third base will bat fifth. Todd Lotz out in right field today batting sixth. Kyle Wilkie behind the plate seventh. William Holland getting his first look at the Gatemen this year and will be the designated hitter out of Auburn, bats eighth. And then the center fielder today is Eric Rivera batting ninth. Of course, Gavin Hollowell doing the pitching for them out of St. John's. For the Gatemen, Jeremy Idens gets his first start in center field and will bat leadoff in his normal spot. Cede Valenzuela follows him playing shortstop today. Austin Shenton back out on the field and playing third and batting third. Lyle Lockhart over at first base bats cleanup. Followed by Paven Parks, who will get the seat as the designated hitter today. And the newest Gateman, Jacob Goldfarb, will be out in left field and will bat sixth, followed by Luke Roscom, who has the catching duties today. Isaac Collins back out in his normal position now in right field. And rounding things out, a rare start for Oliver Dunn. He gets the nod today at second base. And Cade Cavalli out of Oklahoma will do the pitching for Wareham. That's it for our starting lineups for today. We're going to throw it to a quick break. Stay tuned for the rest of the Wareham Gatemen pregame show after this.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
Back here from McKeon Park, here you're listening to the Gatemen Pregame Show on the Gatemen Baseball Network, which would like to remind you that you can contact us anytime by emailing gatemen@pressbox.org. Feel free to send us your questions or comments, and we'll make sure to address them as soon as possible. Make sure you're keeping up with all the Gatemen action 24/7 by following the Wareham Gatemen on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. The newest member of the Gatemen is in the starting lineup tonight. Zach Goldfarb will get the start in left field, and he got to catch up with our Mary Orders before the game.
Thanks, guys. So, Jacob, you were with Katuitt earlier in the season. Unfortunately, it didn't work out there. Fortunately for us, you're here now. How has the transition been so far being here?
It's been really good. The coaches and the guys have welcomed me really quick, and I like the vibe that I'm getting in the dugout so far. And last night, obviously, we fell apart in the ninth, but up until then, it was a really good game, and it seems like we got a really good ball club.
And what are you looking to get out of your first time in the starting rotation?
So I struggled a little bit with Katuitt at the plate, just being in every few days, and I'm looking to just get back on track, feel it a little bit with my bat, and like I said, get hot.
And are there any adjustments or anything behind the plate that you're specifically looking to work on?
I'm just trying to simplify things right now. I think I had too much going on with Katuitt, trying to do too much, so I'm just trying to put the bat on the ball tonight.
And moving forward into the rest of the season, are there any personal or team goals you have?
Team, just keep winning, and personal, like I said, just get hot, feel it with the bat.
Jacob, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Nice.
Back here from McKeon Park, thanks for that as always, Mary. Going to toss it back to our broadcasters to talk about the last time these two teams met in a decisive Gatemen victory. Take it away, guys.
Thank you so much, Cam. Like we said, 17-4. Decisive, I think, just about tells you everything you know about that win. But a bit of a wonky stat line otherwise, besides that 17-4 win, which was, of course, wonky. And it was sort of similar to the way that the Gatemen have blown away the last two teams they have played. It was a lot of defensive miscues by Hyannis. But the Harbor Hawks, despite losing by 13, actually out-hit the Gatemen by 1, 15-14. Everybody seemed to have a day for both sides. For the Harbor Hawks, really, you only had one guy who didn't start in the starting lineup, or everyone who started in the starting lineup got a hit of some kind besides Trevor Hover. A couple pinch hit guys without a hit, but a lot of guys had multi-hit games. Todd Lott went off. He continued his torrid stretch, but, these two teams they're known to blow each other out and known to come back with a vengeance when they're on the losing end of that.
Well, yeah, they do, but the thing to look at from the 17-4 loss for Hyannis is the amount of runners they left on base. How about 15 left on base in that game? That game could have been completely different because the Gatemen, as you said, were out hit in that game despite putting up 17 runs, only had 14 hits. So if Hyannis plays some better defense and doesn't commit 3 errors and allows a 9-run third inning, and if they just drive in some of the guys that they left on base, they're in a lot better business than they could have been. So they left 2 runners on in the first, 1 in the second, none in the third, 2 in the fourth, left them loaded in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and 2 in the 9th. So really, it was just a day of missed opportunities and a lot of miscues in the field, as you mentioned. Hyannis really struggled both mentally, and then they struggled mentally in terms of just being able to drive guys in and say, this is my job, this is what I got to get done. But they also struggled physically because it was just an awful day in the field. Alex Trella really, really struggled at shortstop. He had 2 errors just by himself, and that's really what we've seen from from teams this season, is that the middle infield has really been the weak spot in terms of defense for teams that the Gatemen have beaten handedly this season.
Now, like you said, even doing the same thing with Bourne. Bourne committed a few defensive errors right from the get-go, and the Gatemen were able to capitalize on them. When the Gatemen have been able to score early, they have been successful. We're going to take a quick break now and give you exact highlights from the more than nitty-gritty of what happened the last time these two teams played.
The Gatemen are once again at the top of the Cape as their nail-biting win over Hyannis a day ago saw them regain sole possession of first place in the West. In order to keep that title, though, they're going to need to go through Hyannis once more, as Wareham and the Harbor Hawks face off for the 3rd time in the last 4 games. Neither team has been able to win on the road in this series, and Todd Lott wanted to keep it that way as he comes to the plate in a scoreless tie in the bottom of the 2nd.
Todd Lott puts a lot into that one, though. Brian Packard going back. He looks up, and that one's in the trees for a home run for Todd Lott. Gotten it going recently indeed for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. A solo shot puts them ahead 1-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Now Fowler set, takes a deep breath, kicks and deals from the stretch. Ground ball over to the shortstop Trella, across the diamond on one hop. It got by the first baseman Lindsley. Now over to second and third. Will not try for 2 runs. Iden's able to take third over to second. Valenzuela, Isaac Collins scored easily. And that one lifted into left center field. Hard hit. Lawton Rivera converging on it. That'll get a run in, maybe 2. That will indeed get 2 runs in there to second with a slide as Austin Shenton clears the bases and gives the Gatemen a 3-1 lead. Saheed Valenzuela and Jeremy Idens all smiles as they trot back to the dugout after scoring on the double from Shenton. Productive inning for the Gatemen. That one into right field for a base hit. Scoring easily from third is Austin Shenton, and over to third himself, Lyle Lockhart Jr. with a good jump. Runners at the corners, 1 out, but now a 4-1 lead for the Gatemen. Payoff pitch, chopper left side, fielded by Trella. Off his glove, another error by Trella, and another run will score as well. Stop if you've heard this one before. 1 more run for the Gatemen, runners at the corners, 1 out. 5-1 Wareham. That one in the dirt. That's going to get behind the catcher, but you can fire up the merry-go-round regardless. Blue jerseys move up a spot. Another run scores, 7-1 Gatemen. That one lifted into right field. Going to get down for a base hit. Todd Lott around first. Will now go to second, but around second coming in to score the second Hyannis run of the day is Kyle Wilkie. Todd Lott, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Now a 7-run lead for Wareham. 2-1 out for Hyannis. Lifted lazily into shallow left field. Packard coming in on it. Will drop it in front of him. Decided against the reaching attempt, but another run comes across for Hyannis. Make that 9-3 Wareham.
Horn again checks back at second. Now the 0-1 pitch home. Looping breaking ball, swung on and hit into center field and down for a base hit. Idens comes up, throwing barefoot, chugging around third and in to score. So Todd Lott's impressive day continues, an RBI single for him, and now it's just a 5-run Gatemen lead, 9-4 Wareham. 1-1, swung on, roped into the left center field gap, and it's in for a hit. Rolling toward the wall, 1 run comes in to score. The second is in from second, and it's a 2 RBI double for the right-hander Ryan Kreidler, and the Gatemen continue to add on. It's now 12-4 Wareham in the top of the 6th. Has reached base, though, back in the 6th inning on a hit by pitch and scored a run. Oliver Dunn is off, and this one is demolished. High and deep to right center field. Goodbye.
Wow.
Ryan Packard just hit that over the trees in right field. It's now 14-4 Gatemen. They continue to add to the lead. 3-2 the pitch is swung on, pumped high and deep to right field. The right fielder will just watch it go out. Pavin Parks adds to the lead, and Braden Como is just laughing on the mound at this point. A 2-run shot, the first of the season for Pavin Parks, and it's 17-4 Wareham. 3 balls and a strike to count to Wenzel, and the pitch from Ralston is swung on and hit toward the third baseman, Pavin Parks. His sidearm throw to first base is in time, and that will end the game. 17-4, the final score for McKeon Park. The Gatemen now up 3 points in the West Division standings as the #1 team in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Wareham takes down the Harbor Hawks in convincing fashion, 17-4. It was all offense from the Gatemen as 9 players had RBIs, with 5 of them driving in more than 1. 10 players ended up scoring, and 11 of them reached base. Brian Packard went 1 for 4, but scored 3 times and hit a mammoth home run over the trees at McKeon Park. Pavin Parks also ended up homering, going 2 for 6 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. On the other side, Todd Lott was the impact player for Hyannis, going 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a home run.
Welcome back into McKeon Park. A beautiful, and I mean beautiful, day for baseball between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Wareham Gatemen. Gatemen coming into today 14-9, trying to bounce back from winning from a loss against the Commodores. Hyannis got beat up by Catuit yesterday and are trying to bounce back from an 8-3 loss. They come in today 12-8-2. Jeremy Idens, the leadoff man for the Wareham Gatemen, quickly down 0-2. Third pitch of the at-bat drops in there. Strike 3 looking. Idens down on 3 pitches, and Gavin Hollowell of St. John's chugging early. Now Sahid Valenzuela will bat. He had himself a great day yesterday. What's new? Multi-hit affair for the Cal State Fullerton Titan. Back in the lineup yesterday after an absence of a couple of days. Saw Pavin Parks play second base. Saw Oliver Dunn playing second base today. Ryan Kreidler getting the day off. Valenzuela batting second but playing shortstop. He skies that one into foul territory. Left field coming in on it. Will not have enough room. Matthew barefoot almost crashed into the walls. That one bounced a few feet in front of the bullpen. So 0-1 is the count to Valenzuela now. As Cam mentioned, Gavin Hollowell, the starter today for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Pretty good numbers out of St. John. Pretty good numbers here. Hard throwing right-hander. Big kid too, 6'7", 210. A large, lanky body. Second day in a row that the Gatemen have faced off against a relatively tall pitcher, Mitchell Stone, yesterday for Falmouth out of Oklahoma State, 6'9". Down comes in on Valenzuela, but call a ball. Idens, Valenzuela, and Shenton to lead things off for the Gatemen. From the windup, Hollowell delivers, swing and a miss, got him with a fastball upstairs. Valenzuela, the switch hitter, hitting from the left side against the righty Hollowell. Hollowell deals. Swinging a little dribbler over the shortstop, Davis Wenzel. Fields it on his left, fires across the diamond, and got him by a step, 2 away.
It's a really good play there from Davis Wenzel. You know his Valenzuela has speed, especially when he's coming out of the left-handed batter's box and has a little bit less distance to travel. Came in, charged in, made the play, and that's really not an everyday shortstop out there. He plays a lot of quarter infield at Baylor, so very graceful movements and a great throw from Wenzel to nab a good, speedy Valenzuela.
Now Austin Shenton, the batter, batting .417 on the year. First pitch to him, shoots it foul straight back. Shenton, a rare hitless game yesterday in the loss to the Commodores. The Commodores picked up their 10th win of the year. Gatemen dropped to 14-9. Falmouth put up a 4 spot in the 9th inning en route to a 6-4 win. Shenton 0 for 3 in that contest. The 0-1 pitch, inside, 1-1. One to Shenton. Breaking ball drops in there nicely. One and two to Shenton. On the deck, Lyle Lockhart Jr. playing first base today. He was also hitless. Only with 1 strikeout, which for Lockhart, a guy who either walks, strikes out, or usually hits the ball pretty hard. It's a step in the right direction, putting the ball in play more. Now 2-2 the count. 2 away, bases empty, 0-0. Gatemen and Harbor Hawks here at McKeon Park. That one a little chopper foul down the first base line. We'll do it again. It was that high breaking ball that dropped down. Shenton got a little bit of a piece of it. Keeps himself alive. From left to right in the infield for Hyannis, Seth Gray, Davis Wenzel, Braden Como, Pedro Pages, and Kyle Wilkie behind the plate. The 2-2 again. Outside, count runs full. Left to right in the outfield, Matthew Barefoot, Eric Rivera, and Todd Lott. In left center and right field, Hyannis 2 points out of first coming into this contest. In a West Division that all of a sudden has become really close as the Gatemen have continued to play .500 ball their last 10 games, and Cotuit and Falmouth trending in opposite directions, but Cotuit in dead last, but only 2.5 games out of first. Along with Falmouth, 2.5 games out, Bourne 2 games out. From the windup, the payoff pitch. Breaking ball, he swung at it. Weak chopper, left side, fielded on a high hop. Gray across the diamond, low throw in time. A 5-3 put out for those of you keeping score at home will end the effort for the game, and they go 1-2-3. Gavin Holloway shuts down a potent Wareham offense. We go to the bottom of the first for McKeon Park, scoreless. We'll be right back.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails. Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
Welcome back to McKeon Park, 0-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Cade Cavalli on the hill for the Wareham Gatemen. Haven't seen him in a bit, but the freshman from Oklahoma has become more of a mainstay in the back end of this rotation now that Joey Matulovic and Mason Fioli have both departed. 2 spots in that rotation given up. Ken Waldachuk, who we haven't seen in a while, wouldn't be surprised if he comes out in relief, as that is what he did. Actually, I should say we haven't seen him in a starting role in a while, but we've seen him in long relief. Wouldn't be surprised if Waldachuk resume those duties today. Cavalli will face Davis Wenzel, Braden Como, and Matthew Barefoot. Pretty much the everyday 1-2-3 for these Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Coming in today, batting .254 as a team. But the astounding facet of Hyannis' game is their ERA, their team ERA, which is probably a little more relevant to mention in the last inning, but close to 5, 4.84. Ranks in dead last in the Cape League. Wareham coming in today, 383 on the year. Still with that #1 defense despite a lot of errors recently. But they have 3 fewer errors than anyone else they trail. Gavin Hollowell with a masterful 1-2-3 inning to retire Jeremy Iden, Sahid Valenzuela, and Austin Shenton pretty much in order. Now trying to bounce back with one of his own, his freshman Cade Cavalli out of Oklahoma.
Leading off for the Harbor Hawks, the shortstop.
Cavalli a 3.37 ERA with 2 starts, 3 total appearances, as our Cam Stewart mentioned, our host today. Despite a mediocre year ERA-wise, actually 3.37, far from mediocre. That is very respectable. The 200 opposing batting average, I think, is a figure that really stands out. Not a ton of hard hit balls off this kid. And it really was just the 1 inning of relief in that doubleheader loss to Orleans, as that one sails upstairs to Davis Wenzel, where he gave up 2 earned runs in 1 inning. That really inflated the numbers for him. Since then, just 1 earned run in his last 7 innings of work, has scattered just 4 hits, 7 strikeouts as well for the right-hander.
And I think he's much more comfortable coming out of a starting role. He's even in that doubleheader against Orleans. He looked pretty comfortable in the first inning, and then things kind of started to fall apart for him in the second inning of relief. So if he can stay in that starting role, he'll be successful.
Comes back with a fastball to move the count to 2-1. Davis Wenzel looking rugged as always with the long, dirty blonde hair poking out of the back of his helmet. Beard as bushy as ever as that one sails up and in, 3-1. Like you said, JD, usually a corner infielder for the Baylor Bears in the Pac-12. He plays middle infield and has mainly been a shortstop for the Harbor Hawks this summer. Now on a strike at the knees, went back-to-back fastballs. 4 strikes. Wenzel comes in today, batting .250. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. That one, fastball at the eyes almost. Neck level. And that one gets Wenzel for out #1, brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. Cade Cavalli, 1 up, 1 down.
Now batting for the Harbor
It's a good pitch to a good hitter. Guy's eyes get real big when you get a fastball up in the zone. That one just too far up in the zone to do anything with. Even if he had made contact, he probably would have gotten underneath it and popped it up, either into the shallow outfield or on the infield.
So Cavalli doing a good job of setting up that pitch, but like you said, JD, that is an appetizing pitch for just about anyone. Upstairs, the first pitch to Como, 1-0. From the windup, with a fastball again. This one misses low and in, 2-0. Como, a .338 hitter on the year. Yesterday in the loss to Katuitt, 1 for 3. Upstairs did not miss by much, though. Might have been a little too far inside, as it looked to be about letters level. It was the unofficial top of the strike zone. From the windup, missed low with that one, but a really good frame from Luke Roscom. Got a call from the home plate umpire, Tony Letizza. That one definitively inside, and he lost him. A 5-pitch walk issued to Braden Como. The Harbor Hawks have a man aboard here with 1 out.
Now batting for the Harbor Hawks, the left fielder from Campbell University, number 28.
This top of the order for Hyannis might be one of the better ones in the league between Wenzel, Como, now Matthew Barefoot, and then Pedro Pages. You've got good contact hitters in Wenzel and Como. You've got good power in Barefoot and Pages. So this is a really tough first 4 guys to go through if you're Cade Cavalli.
Man, that's exactly what you want out of a first 4. Contact in the first 2 spots, and then consistency in that 3 hole with Matthew Barefoot, not only hitting for a lot of power, but .375 on the year after a 2-for-3 performance in the loss to Katuitt yesterday. And Pedro Pages, not as much consistency on the, or from the plate, I should say, hitting still a respectable .262 after a 1-for-4 performance yesterday against Katuitt, but we've seen him hit some balls a long, long way. Pickoff attempt by the righty Cavalli, nothing doing. That one misses upstairs again. Cavalli has found a little bit of success with the fastball, but has missed high with it quite a few times. He hasn't left a breaking ball upstairs so far. Luke Roscom going out there to talk to his pitcher as well as pitching coach Jim Lawler. He's out to the mound to discuss strategy, but you can discuss investment strategy as well with Joe Crespi from Merrill Lynch, who sponsors this trip to the mound. The scoreboard here at McKeon Park doesn't appear to be at full functioning capacity,
to say the least.
Yeah. A lot of very dull numbers, some just straight up non-existent. If I'm remembering correctly, a 2-0 count here on Matthew Barefoot. Cavalli from the stretch. Bounces back with that one, 2-1.
Good fastball in the inside corner. Not much Barefoot could have done with it. Low at the knees. If you're Cade Cavalli, you just got to settle in here, as we talked about, a tough part of the lineup.
The 2-1. Went with the breaking ball that time. Not a nasty, biting breaking ball, but dropped just enough that Matthew Barefoot said, I'm not going to swing at that one. And now 2-2. Breaking ball outside. Roscom eyes Como back to first base. Barefoot out of Campbell University, which is a place I hadn't heard of until I got the opportunity to call a game against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. He's obviously having a fantastic summer here, and that one inside, back-to-back walks for Cade Cavalli. Now Hyannis with an opportunity to strike first. And this would be just about the worst way to start the game for the Gatemen, not only because you see your pitcher struggling with command, but just because Wareham as a team does not do well when behind early. JD, we were talking about that beforehand with our Ian Becerra. I think the exact numbers were 10-4 when the Gatemen score first, and 4-5 when they do not.
It's not good when you can't get out in front if you're the Gatemen. I think this pitching staff, as most pitchers do,
that one's ball one outside.
Feel a lot more comfortable when you have a lead. You have to be a little bit more aggressive, but it seems to be even more the case for this Gatemen pitching staff, especially the bullpen.
And Cavalli especially has been the most successful when he can control, or when he has shown control. That one a strike at the knees. He's been kind of 50-50 today as far as balls and strikes. But he's had, coming into today, 9 walks in 8 innings, which is not where you want that clip to be. The 9 strikeouts in 8 innings, that's fine. But strikeout to walk ratio at a dead even 1. And if you count the 2 walks from today at 10-12, or 10-11, excuse me. Goes with the fastball there, lazily hit, shallow right field. Isaac Collins comes in on it, reaches up and makes the catch. For out number 1, runners hold.
That's a big out there for Cade Cavalli. You now got 2 down. The threat becomes much less of really a threat at this point. Now you can go force it at any base. A ground ball gets you out of the inning. A fly ball gets you out of the inning. A strikeout gets you out of the inning. There's a lot more things that Cade Cavalli can do and be a little bit more aggressive here against Seth Gray and still get himself out of the inning unscathed.
I think that was just about the best case scenario. If you're Cade Cavalli, Pedro Pages has had a bit of an up and down year. When he's been on, and especially against the Gatemen, he's hurt them big time. Pick in the dirt. Is Ross able to keep that one in front of him? 1-0 is the count to Gray. Out of Wright State, the most damage he's done against the Gatemen has been that 3-for-3 game in the game that Hyannis was absolutely massacred by the Gatemen at Spillane, 9-0. That one shot 1.5 miles high, third base side, coming over on it. Shenton, he looks up, he watches that sail, actually not even clear. Defense, it dropped just inside, but Shenton decided not to give it a play. Regardless, just a loud, long strike at the end of the day. Gray 0-for-3 in the loss to Katuitt. But before that, had been on a 4-game hit streak with 2 multi-hit affairs. One and 1 to Gray. He bats with a tall, open stance. Pitch, that one in the dirt. Might have gotten a piece of something, but both runners advance as Luke Roscom chases it back to the brick. Giving Cavalli the 2 hands out, the hey, settle in here. The situation got all the more dangerous as Gray trying to bounce back from an 0-for, but he has been hitting the ball a lot better as of late, batting .314 coming into today.
It's not only dangerous because now the runners are 90 feet closer, but you've also lessened the amount of ways you can get it out here if you're Cade Cavalli because the force at any base is now eliminated.
Yeah, limited pretty much disappeared. Roscom and Cavalli part ways. Cavalli seems ready to go. 2 on, 2 out. And a 2-1 count to Seth Gray. 3-1 count, excuse me. To Gray, swing and a miss. Man, oh man, got the benefit of the 3-1 count there as Gray wanted something upstairs and he got it, but he swung about 4 inches below it. That one about chin level.
It was 1 pitch, 1 location. Saw the fastball coming in high, and like I said, eyes get big when the ball's up there. That pitch has been very effective for Cavalli.
Now for the payoff pitch, we'll see what he goes with. Breaking ball. They call it a foul ball.
He's saying it. Seth Gray's saying it hit his elbow.
I know.
It certainly didn't. His reaction, I think, would have been a little bit more pain.
Yeah.
If it hit him in the elbow, especially because he's got no elbow guard on, and now he's going to show it off to the umpire. Chad Gassman's out to talk things over.
And just also from the sound of it.
It sounded like it hit the knob of the bat. Seth Gray's really trying to sell it here, so if it did hit him, good for him, and if not, he's doing a good job selling it.
Yeah. It also just looked like it hit the knob of the bat. I mean, yes, that was from the other side of things here. We don't have maybe the best vantage point.
Luke Roscom doesn't believe him at all. Seth Gray's walking to first base, but Luke Roscom said something to him. Seth Gray turned around and said, no, hit me in the arm.
Yeah, he says get back there.
Yeah. The home plate umpire, Tony Letizio, is not being fooled here.
Come on, Seth. It's summer ball.
He's got a smile on his face, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got a smile because he knows he has to come back or a smile because he knows he got caught. He's still trying to plead his case now to Todd Lott, who's on deck and is over there talking with Luke Roscom. Luke Roscom thinks it's funny.
And Chad Gassman still talking to the home plate umpire. Now their conversation is adjourned. So regardless, the count is full. After that one, just a very exciting strike at the end of the day.
I don't even know if I'd call it exciting. It was funny.
It was
Maybe
funny.
Not exciting.
It was funny. Payoff pitch again from Cavalli, working from the windup. He deals. Fastball misses way upstairs, so does in fact get to first base, does Seth Gray. 3 walks in this inning alone for Cade Cavalli. Not the way he wants to start things off, and now Todd Lott, who has been a force in the bottom of this Hyannis lineup, much more so in the last 2 weeks of play. And Lott has done a lot of damage against the Gatemen. And he did so when his average was sitting in the mid-250s, right, or mid-200s. But since then has pushed it. He's peaked it at 327 after a 2-for-4 performance in the loss to YD. They tied the Red Sox, and Mr. Lott went 0-for-5. The last action he saw, strike right down the middle to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks right fielder and the University of Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajun.
Average is still up at 300, which is more than respectable in this league. He's tied for the league lead with 5 home runs. This is not the guy you want to load the bases with.
Sends that one high, shallow right field, foul ground, coming over on it. Lyle Lockhart flailing and does not make the catch. On a bit of a tough one as Lott was trying. He came at that one at a really weird angle.
I think he lost it in the sun momentarily, and he was chasing it down the right field side. And then he tried to go backhand. He also had to have the bullpen catcher for the Gatemen move out of the way because somebody is warming in the Gatemen bullpen. So all around it would have been a tough play for Lyle Lockhart to make. But if you're Cade Cavalli, now you're out in front 0-1.
He's out in front 0-1. Bases are loaded. Braden Como at third. Matthew Barefoot on second. Seth Gray at first base. All of them reached via the walk. A lot about going around with that one in the dirt, 1-1. Appealed down to first. Jeff Kinney says, no, sir. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mr. Lott. Four guys in this starting lineup and 5 guys on this Hyannis team that are hitting at 300 or above. Todd Lott holding down the lower threshold right at 300, as JD said. That one sharply hit right side off the glove of Lockhart, and everybody will score in advance of base, but Oliver Dunn going to throw home. Might have gotten him to pick off. Roscom back down to Shenton, and they got him. Chad Gassman very upset with his base runners, and rightfully so. Bit of a gaffe there, but the run will count. 1-0 Hyannis. We go to the top of the second here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. 1-0 Hyannis on a bit of a weird sequence that saw Todd Lott send a sharply hit ground ball to the right side. Lyle Lockhart Ranged to his right, tried to field it off his glove. It hit the palm of the glove, rolled over to Oliver Dunn at second base, and Braden Como came around to score. Matthew Barefoot got a little overzealous, and rounding third, started screaming towards home, and ended up getting the ball. And Oliver Dunn ended up with quick thinking, getting the ball down to Luke Roskin behind the plate, and then back to Austin Shenton to tag out Barefoot, I should say, as he tried to retreat to third base. A 4-2-5 put out for those of you keeping score at home. That is how a bit of a weird inning ended for Wareham, but the Harbor Hawks out in front 1-0. Lyle Lockhart will start things off against Gavin Hollowell, who has one strikeout on the day as he dealt with the 1-2-3 for Wareham pretty masterfully. Struck out Jeremy Idens looking, got a pair of groundouts. Both weekly hit from the 2-3 hitters for Wareham. Lyle Lockhart Jr., Pavin Parks, and the new Wareham Gatemen, former Katuitt Kettleer, Jacob Goldfarb, he's had a monumentally tough go at it to start the season off, but looking to bounce back here against the Harbor Hawks. Maybe just all he needed was a little bit of a soft reset button. We'll see what he does. Lockhart sends a high fly ball to foul ground. Seth Gray giving chase. You'll watch it go into the bleachers.
Remember, fans, same difference in the
1-1 the count on Lockhart.
You keep that foul ball tonight.
Just batting .200 on the year. We've seen his power and consistency fluctuate a little bit, but usually when Lockhart has an 0 for day, it was with a bevy of strikeouts, but not the case. In the loss against Falmouth, just 1. Sends that one sharply hit over to Wenzel, but he fields it, ranging a little over to his right and across the diamond. A nice pick from Pedro Pages, and another 6-3 put out, one away here in the second.
The next batter for Wareham, the designated hitter from Kent State, number 16, Pavin Parks.
Pavin Parks, the batter now, DHing today. We've seen him mostly at the third base spot when he has played in the field. He played one game at second base. That was against Bourne in that 13-1 win. From the windup, Hollowell. With his little cut fastball. Strike 1 to Parks. Parks' average steadily climbing, .258 on the year now for the junior from Kent State. That one way up and in. Evens the count. Parks 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Bats with a tall stance, waggles the bat ever so slightly. That one he sent into wood chip, so that one is right back to the pitcher Hollowell, but a nice little flip over to Pedro Pages for a 1-3 put out. 5 straight Gatemen retire to start things off at McKeon.
Honestly, Pavin Parks might have had a chance to beat that out, but he stumbled coming out of the box.
He did.
He almost fell flat on his face, was able to catch his balance just before he fell, but nonetheless, still 2 gone in this inning, and now Jacob Goldfarb will get his first crack at Hyannis pitching, at least in a Gatemen uniform, so we'll have to see how he debuts here. This is the perfect time for him to step up and get things going the right way with his new team.
You're telling me it'd be the first base runner of the day for the Gatemen if he is able to contribute here. Lets a fastball go by for ball 1. You see on his white cleats on the back, the green Oregon O, redshirt junior, out of the Pac-12 up there. Takes a rip and a miss at that one, bounces off the brick, and right back into the glove of Hollowell over at first. Goldfarb wearing number 45, taking the roster spot and the number of Joey Matulovic. He's off doing big things with the Milwaukee Brewers organization. Let's ball 2 go by, 2-1. He did not play in the 8-3 victory for Katuitt over Hyannis. He has been on the roster for a little while now. Sends that one moonshot but foul. Hit that one a pretty good way, but just turned on it maybe a little more than he would have wanted to. Goldfarb, like I said, his second day on the Gatemen roster, but his first time playing for Wareham. Took a little something off and got a strike at the knees to retire the side. Strike 3 called to Goldfarb, and the Gatemen go down 1-2-3 for the second straight inning. We go to the bottom of the second inning here from Hyannis. 1-0 Harbor Hawks on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. It is 1-0 in favor of the home team. Cade Cavalli back out to work. Freshman from Oklahoma struggled a little bit in his first inning. Gave up 1 hit, 3 walks, did strike out a Harbor Hawk. That was Davis Wenzel. Now he'll face the bottom of the order. Kyle Wilkie, William Holland, and Eric Rivera. Holland, someone we haven't seen before, playing designated hitter today for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. So this, of course, the 5th meeting between these two teams this year. They will wrap up the season series at Spillane Field in late July. Kyle Wilkie, the batter, catcher today for Hyannis. Batting a very good .294 on the year. Hails from Clemson. First pitch of hip, swing and a miss, 0-1. From the windup, goes to the breaking ball there, but misses it outside. Honestly, pretty well located, except for the fact that he missed it outside. One pitch, fastball low, 2-1.
Cade Cavalli trying to turn some mojo here. Originally had the long sleeve red Under Armour underneath. Now he's rolled those up or even maybe taken it off.
And sometimes it's just a comfort thing, as that one is shot straight back and managed to get himself wrapped around and caught between the netting and the pole. Not sure I've seen that one before. That's going to stay up there for the foreseeable future. Unless the pole takes a nice doink off a foul ball. You might see that hang up there for the rest of the game. I want a ball low, 3-1.
Suppose if you give the net a yank, it might come down, but that's probably not a good idea in the middle of the game.
Probably not. As tempting as it is, that one upstairs, 4th walk of the day issued by Cavalli. JD's not going to last too long if he can't find some semblance of the strike zone.
You got to figure this, the string on him, the leash on him, I should say, is starting to shorten. Feels like Jim Lawler is holding that leash, the retractable leash that you can get for your dog. And he just keeps pulling it back and then
he just keeps
pulling
clicking
it back
it, clicking it.
It just gets a little bit shorter every time that Cade Cavalli issues another free pass.
So we'll see if Cavalli can bounce back in this inning, but right now, leadoff man aboard for Hyannis. Breaking ball drops in there, strike 1 to William Holland.
Holland trying to get things going here. 0 for 4 this season on the Cape.
Swing and a miss there. That doesn't help things.
But he's certainly a good hitter. Hit .313 this season in his sophomore season at Auburn. 18 doubles, 12 homers. All SEC second team this year for him.
Heck of a year and a heck of a conference. Another pickoff attempt is made over to first base. Nothing doing, though. That one is shot high, foul. Down back our way behind the first base bleachers. Still 0-2 on Will Holland. Kyle Wilkie sits at first. Gatemen trying to get back to the tops of the innings, trying to get back to their offensive ways. They did put up 4 runs against Falmouth. But ended up dropping that one 6-4 after the defense melted down in the 9th inning. That one in the dirt. Ross can be able to keep in front of him. Well done by the Gatemen catcher. Followed it up the line and kept, most importantly, Kyle Wilkie at first base. Eric Rivera waits on deck. Still 0-2 the count. To Holland, sends a sharp ground ball, backhanded by Lockhart, steps on first, over to second, tags the runner. Did he get him in time? Yes, says Mikey Garcia. A 3-6 double play for the Gatemen. That one brought to you by TM Ryder Insurance Agency. Package your home and auto insurance for the perfect double play. TM Ryder, steering and securing your course for insurance since 1877. Swing and a miss on that one. High fastball gets Eric Rivera to cut and miss at it, the FAU Owl. Like you said, JD, when he's been able to locate that one right about shoulder level, he's gotten a couple swing and misses on it. Not that should be your crutch pitch.
That's probably one of the worst crutch pitches, you could have, is the high fastball, because as soon as it's not as quite as high as he's gotten it so far, that drops in right at letter level. That is a big fly to left field for a right-handed batter.
Yeah, the margin of error astoundingly small. Back-to-back balls in the dirt makes it 2-1 to Eric Rivera. Rivera in and out of the lineup in the outfield, sharing time out there with the likes of Tommy Jew, who we've seen in and out of the lineup as well in the last 5 meetings between these two teams. 205 on the year for Rivera, now in a hitter's count here, 3-1. Davis Wenzel waits on deck. The double play for the Gatemen has erased Kyle Wilkie at first base, and more importantly, erased the potential bad effects of that walk given up, but the 5th of the day here given up, just as I say that, by Cade Cavalli. And Wenzel will bat for the 2nd time in as many innings.
Cavalli just can't find the strike zone. It's really, he still has only given up 1 hit. And
yeah, it kind of tells you everything you need to know.
That hit was a dribbler off of Lyle Lockhart's glove that could have easily been scored in error, so it's really just been location issues for Cade Cavalli.
Strike 1 to Wenzel. Wenzel just 247 batting average on the year. The pack is the pickoff attempt over to first base, sends Eric Rivera diving back in head first. But Wenzel, a guy who has on occasion really hurt the Gatemen. Last time these two teams played was 1 for 6, but 2 for 3 the effort before that. And 1 for 4 in the game before that. A lot of offers, a lot of one-hit contests for Mr. Wenzel. That one upstairs, back pick over to first, nothing doing.
Tyler Kaiser, the right-hander out of Eastern Florida State Junior College, headed off to Miami next season, is warming in the bullpen now for the Gatemen.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him come in the 3rd, in the 4th, maybe even the 3rd. But a strike on the outside corner has him well on the way to redeeming himself. Wenzel now down 1-2 in the count. Cavalli trying to notch his 2nd strikeout of the day, but first, A pickoff attempt over to first. Lockhart pretty confident in that one as Cavalli does have pretty good stuff out there as far as pickoffs go. He can move his feet pretty quick.
I think some of that comes from the fact that he also plays in the field maybe a little bit more athletic than most pitchers on the mound.
Mm-hmm. Runner takes off, swing and a miss into the glove of Luke Roscom. So the runner on base is effectively eliminated. Second strikeout of the day from Cade Cavalli, brought to you by Lang Exafaris and Bullard. We go to the top of the third inning here from McKeon. Still 1-0 Harbor Hawks on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Founded in 1854, the Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company is the world's largest cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more. Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.org. You can customize your Gatemen gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gatemen.org.
Welcome back to McKeon Park, top of the third inning here from Hyannis. Gatemen and Harbor Hawks meeting for the fifth time this year. Gatemen owners of the season series so far, 3-1. 3 wins and 1 loss. Those coming in blowout fashion. The 2 wins for Wareham, 4-3, or 3 wins for Wareham, I should say. 3-1. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. 3-1 is the record of the Gatemen against the Harbor Hawks this year. One of the wins came in 4-3 fashion at home at Spillane. The other one 9-0 at Spillane. The other one 17-3 here, so a lot of blowouts. But also 9-0. Excuse me, 9-1 here the first time the Gatemen visited McKeon Park. Right now, Luke Roscom is the batter to start things off for Wareham. Bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9. Takes ball 1 low. Sends a ground ball foul down the first base line. Roscom just finished up his sophomore campaign at Nebraska. Played some catcher, played some first, played some third. And we haven't seen statistically the power out of this very powerful left-handed bat, but he started to hit the ball pretty hard his last few times at the plate. Bats with a tall stance, holds the bat over his head. Swinging a hard ground ball up the middle, might get through for a base hit, and it will as Braden Como gives up on it. Single for Luke Roscom. And the leadoff man is aboard. First hit, first base runner for the Gatemen in this one. Now here comes the hot-hitting Isaac Collins.
The next batter for the Gatemen, the right fielder from Creighton, number 10, Isaac Collins.
Oliver Dunn waits on deck. Collins hits from both sides of the plate. He's found success from both sides of the plate. First pitch to him sends that one into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Rolls into the glove of the center fielder Rivera. Luke Roscom with a good jump gets over to third. And Isaac Collins continues his hot streak and has solidified his place at the bottom of the lineup as a consistent bat. Sophomore from Creighton continues to produce.
The next batter for the Gatemen, the second baseman from the University of Utah, number 50, Oliver Dunn.
Back-to-back base hits now. Oliver Dunn trying to work himself out of a slump here. He started to hit the ball a little harder himself, but seemingly right to fielders. Dunn trying to break out in a big way here. All of a sudden, the Gatemen have something going. They do trail it by 1. First pitch to Dunn. Fastball framed well by Wilkie behind the dish, 0-1. From the stretch, pickoff over to first. Isaac Collins back in there safely. He's got a stolen base on the year. He is a speedy guy. In the beginning of the year when he was starting a little more consistently before the stretch of good games that he's had recently, did in fact bat from the top of the lineup. That one sent high, shallow into right center field, racing in Rivera, but Todd Lott is actually called off by Rivera. Luke Roscom tagging from third, saying get down as a throw comes in late. Roscom in there safely with the slide, and the Gatemen tie it up 1-1 in the top of the third inning. Oliver Dunn delivers. A bit of an odd play there, though. One out. Isaac Collins at first base. A tie ball game here. But Todd Lott had an absolute beat on that in right field. And out of nowhere comes Eric Rivera. Comes in screaming from center field, I got it, I got it. But his momentum was taking him towards foul territory, basically. So he had to shift himself and then fire over to home plate. And it was a close play. Rivera's arm very good. That one, ground ball left side. Davis Wenzel trying to jeter it over to first base, but no effort, to no avail. That was a tough hit ball. Isaac Collins was actually off on the pitch. So he does reach second. 3 base knocks for the Gatemen. Idens took the first pitch that he saw and sent it into the 5-6 hole. Davis Wenzel raced into the hole, prevented from going into the outfield, which probably would have kept Isaac Collins, or actually would have moved Isaac Collins to third base had the ball gone into the outfield. But instead, first and second, 1 out. And now Sahid Valenzuela is the batter with 1 away. He swings at the first pitch and sends a high fly ball into shallow left field. This should hold the runners. Barefoot comes in on it and makes the grab. Runners do, in fact, hold 2 away in the third. Austin Shenton's the batter. But again, to kind of talk a little more about that sacrifice fly off the bat of Dunn, Lott looked like he had a beat on it, but Rivera called him off at the last second. In the outfield, obviously, the hierarchy is that the center fielder has control. And if he calls you off, you better get the heck out of his way. But on the other hand, it's his responsibility should he make a bad call. So I guess what Uncle Ben's saying rings true here. With great power does come great responsibility. But Lott, had he come in on it, his momentum would have taken him straight to the plate. And we haven't seen a ton of Todd Lott's arm out there in right field. Sometimes plays out in left, but the fact of the matter is, just for momentum, he probably would have had a little bit of better play with a strike. Might have been able to get Luke Roscom out at the plate. But coulda, shoulda, woulda. 1-0 Gatemen. Jeremy Idens at first base. Isaac Collins at second. Luke Roscom has come around to score. Took a little something off. It might have been a change-up there. Either way, a ball upstairs to Shenton, 2-0. Shenton 0 for 1 today. One of his longer hitless stretches of the year, but still batting .411. 0 for his last 4. Hollowell deals. Same pitch, slightly lower though. So he got the strike call, 2-1. Shenton didn't like that on the upper outside corner, so he let it go. Two on, 2 out for the Gatemen. They've tied it up. Now when sails way outside, Wilkie able to keep it from going back to the backstop, the brick backstop here, which we've seen be very springy. Now Hollowell sets. That one upstairs, and that gets over the glove of Wilkie, and that one rolls up the backstop towards first base. And both runners take off. They get to their respective bases, but Austin Shenton moves over to first base with the 5-pitch walk, so ended up being irrelevant, which is why Wilkie, instead of frantically searching for it, just more trotted over to it. You see yesterday's starter Will Proctor playing ball boy today, or more bat boy, I should say, in between batters, helping guys facilitate their transitions. Mound meeting as well for the Harbor Hawks. Can't imagine that Hollowell's day will be done just yet, as there's no one really warming up in earnest in the Hyannis bullpen, but also he really has been good outside of this inning. He's given up 3 sharp singles and does have the walk and the sacrifice fly. But with the bases loaded here, he's going to have to clutch up in a big way. 2 away, bases loaded. 1-1 is your score here from McKeon Park. Hyannis trying to bounce back from an 8-3 thumping at the hands of Katuitt at Lowell Park. And the Gatemen trying to flush and move on from a late inning meltdown against Falmouth. He'll have to do it against Lyle Lockhart Jr. Two-way player in more than one sense of the phrase. Plays pitcher and hits, plays in the field as well, but also bats from both sides of the plate. So in that way also, even though the phrase is not traditionally used in that way, technically I would call that is technically a two-way player. Bats from both sides of the plate. Found success this year in a Houston Cougars uniform, batted just a shade under 300. Much more comfortable next to the plate rather than pitching to it, though. That one drops in there. Ball 1. Really good first pitch. But behind Lockhart Jr. here, 1-0. Lyle Lockhart Sr. was in the house yesterday for the game against Falmouth at Spillane Field. Wonder if he's here in the audience at Hyannis. We're not sure. That one skied foul straight back. 1-1.
Fans, thanks to Accidental Auto Body, you can keep that foul ball tonight.
You've seen the power come and go for Lockhart. Does have a home run on the year, and that came in the 10-4 blowout win in the game 1 of the doubleheader against YD a couple Sundays ago. And since then, the triple against Bourne, but other than that, no extra base hits for the Gatemen first baseman. That one low, 2-1. Collins at third, Idens at second, Shenton at first. The latter reached on a walk, but Idens and Collins both have continued a good offensive stretch. With a pair of singles today, bases juiced for Wareham. The 2-1, that one sent into right field. Todd Locke goes to the right, reaches up and makes the catch. At the last second, reached over his head to grab that one out of the air. Well, Lockhart gave it a ride, but right into the glove of the right fielder. The Gatemen do get one back, and they tie it up here in the top of the third inning against Hyannis. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the first Cape League update of the day with our host, Cam Stewart. Don't go anywhere.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403.
Welcome back inside McKeon Park. Time for our first look around the Cape League today. Down at Red Wilson Field, the Red Sox are all over the Chatham Anglers, up 9-1 as we head to the 6th. Big day for Noah Campbell as he's driven in 3 so far with a bases-clearing double in what became an 8-run 4th inning for YD. Down in Falmouth, the Bourne Braves are clinging to a 2-1 advantage thanks to a 2-run homer by Spencer Brickhouse back in the 1st inning. All the way out in Orleans, the basement-dwelling Brewster Whitecaps hold a 3-1 lead over the Firebirds out in the 6th. Joseph Donovan's the difference in that one with a couple of RBI. Finally, the Kettleers clinging to a 1-0 lead in a pitcher's duel at White House Field in Harwich, propelled by 5 shutout innings from Anthony Veneziano for a starting pitching staff that desperately needs a quality start. Rough week for the Kettleers on the mound. Back to our game, which has a new score, 1-1, sending it out to our guys Henrique Demore and J.D. Rachi.
Thank you so much, Cam. Like he said, my name is Enrique Demore. To my right is J.D. Rachi. And the score reads 1-1 as Cade Cavalli is back out there for his third inning of work. Struggled through his first inning, a little better in his second one, helped out by some defense from the Gatemen. A nice 3-6 putout, but that one lasered in the left field for a base hit. Braden Comos on base for the second time today. Last time he was aboard, he ended up scoring.
The next batter for Hyannis.
That was the only Hyannis run of the day until the third inning, in which the Gatemen got one back via the Oliver Dunn sacrifice fly. Good to see him producing. Como with a sharp single into left. Now Matthew Barefoot, the batter. He walked his last time up and was gunned down on some overzealous base running back in the first inning. Trying to make it 2-1 Gatemen on the Todd Lott single. He does have the lone RBI on the day, and that one upstairs. Bounce out of the glove of Luke Roscom. Plays it off the brick, but not quick enough. Como over to second, and very quickly a runner in scoring position with nobody out for a very dangerous hitter in Matthew Barefoot. Pitch count climbing for Cavalli. I imagine this will be his last inning of work, especially if he continues to miss the zone. Cavalli, pitch number 54 coming in. Yet another reason I think he'll be pulled after this one. We saw Tyler Kaiser warming up in the bullpen as well. Future Miami Hurricane. Dancing out there as Como at second base, but no one really holding him on. Oliver Dunn comes back as Cavalli spins around. One tie here in Hyannis. Bottom of the third inning. Home team trying to retake the lead. Fastball right at the knees. Good frame from Roscom as well.
Hey, that's the kid that dominated us 2 outings ago. Are we going to see him tomorrow? Strap is pretty serious.
Not another fastball. Low, though. Roscom flips his glove over. Grabs it between his knee pads as he drops to his knees.
Yeah, bro, I've got stripped.
Cavalli comes set. Kicks, deals. That one sharply hit left side. Coming over on a nice backhanded play, Valenzuela, but he's going to hold on to it. An infield single will put runners at first and second for Pedro Pages. Probably the smart choice there from Valenzuela.
The next batter for the Harbor Hawks. The first baseman for Florida Atlantic.
I said sharply hit, but I don't know if that was the best adjective to describe that. As it got off the bat in a hurry, but the grass deadened it pretty significantly. It was chopped. Valenzuela reached deep into the 5-6 hole to grab it. Not sure if he would have stopped his momentum and fired over to first. Would have taken a very Herculean effort for the Cal State Fullerton Titan to rifle that one over to first base. Fastball, that one sharply hit. Over to second for one goes Valenzuela, over to first. In time, another double play for the Gatemen to register a big second out of the inning. That great double play brought to you by TM Rider Insurance, of course, where great protection is the best policy. 6-4-3 for those of you keeping score at home. Now with 2 away, Braden Como does reach third. And Seth Gray has a runner at third with 2 gone here in the third inning. Todd Lott waits on deck. Gray in his first out, in his first inning, I should say. Reach first via the walk. Infield regular depth.
Instagram stories have to be the dumbest thing ever created on social media.
Now on a strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
Just kidding. Instagram TV. Yeah. What does that even mean? I don't understand. I think they're trying to rip off Facebook Watch.
Breaking ball low. In the dirt, didn't really get a ton of anything as it bounced right in front of the plate and right into Luke Roscom's glove. done a pretty good job back there, given the amount of pitches in the dirt that he's had to deal with. Kept pretty much everything in front of him, really just done the best he can, or as the best he could. The 2-1, make it 3-1. Same pitch, same result. Luke Roscom taking a beating back there. Three-1 pitch. Cavalli takes a deep breath, kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Good fastball at the knees. 3-2. Payoff pitch. Swinging a chop, right side. Oliver Dunn on 2 hops. Gobbles it up and fires it over to first, and he called him safe. A bang-bang play goes the Harbor Hawks' way. Scoring from third is Braden Como. And Seth Gray with the infield single of the century.
The right fielder from Louisiana.
I thought, if anything, Lyle Lockhart might have come off the bag, but that is not even what he motioned. Usually you see umpires will motion with 2 hands sweeping to one side to say that brought the first baseman, I should say, off the bag. And now Don Sned going to have some words with Jeff Kinney. It looked like, it was a very close play, absolutely. But I thought Dunn, he made an extremely good play on that. Now that was an out. But Don Snedden retreats quickly. Man, oh man, tough break for the Gatemen. 2-1, the Harbor Hawks take the lead on the Seth Gray infield single. Now Todd Lott, the batter. He's 1 for 1. Gets that one off the end of the bat, though. Dribbles it back towards the backstop. Cavalli gets his sign from Roscom. Nods yes. Kicks, fires. Fastball just low and away. 1-1. A lot of pretty good sophomore campaign at Louisiana Lafayette. It's perked up in a big way for these Harbor Hawks offensively. Swing and a miss on that one, though. Similar pitch, different result, though. He got Lott to bite. Lott taps the plate twice, outside, inside. Throws a bat once and twice. And a third time, now Cavalli set. He deals. Breaking ball, fouled it off his foot. Cavalli with quick reflexes, though. On his horse over to grab it as that one dribbled a couple feet in front of Roscom. 1-2 the count to Lott. Harbor Hawks answered back and retake that 1-run lead. RBI infield single by Seth Gray. He is at first base. Gray takes off. Hard hit ground ball over to Valenzuela. Should end the inning. Across the diamond. And that'll do it. Todd Lott retired, but like I said, the Harbor Hawks do get one back. After 3, it is 2-1 Harbor Hawks here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden-fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. 2-1 Harbor Hawks. Enrique DeMore and J.D. Rachi giving you the action here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Gatemen got one in the top of the third, but the Harbor Hawks answered back on a bang-bang play. Infield single, met with a little bit of controversy. Off the bat of Seth Gray to drive in Braden Como, who himself started things off with a single. And that'll be up to 5, 6, 7 Pavin Parks. Jacob Goldfarb and Luke Roscom to get things going for the Gatemen. Luke Roscom was the guy who started the offensive outburst in the third inning that led to the first Gatemen run of the day. Came around to score on the sacrifice fly by Oliver Dunn. Gavin Hollowell, out of St. John's, member of the Red Storm. Finished up his sophomore campaign there.
Leading off the fourth inning for Wareham, the designated hitter from Kent State.
Like we said, it is Pavin Parks. 0 for 1 today with a ground out back to Hollowell. Gatemen, before dropping the contest to Falmouth, been on an absolute offensive tear and been outscoring their last two opponents, Katuitt and Bourne, both on the road, by a combined 21-2 margin. That one lazily hit foul ground, giving chase is Gray, but he cannot catch up to it as that one rolls a little too close to the bullpen. So in the end of the day, just strike one. Hyannis scoreboard still with a lot of panels just not working.
Doesn't feel like something that's going to get fixed.
No.
At least today. And of course, this is the last time the Gatemen will be at McKeon Park this season.
So, out of sight, out of mind. That one in the dirt. From the windup, Hollowell. That one lifted high and deep into right field. Lott giving chase on it. He's at the wall and makes the catch just a few feet shy of the track. Pavin Parks gave it a ride. But Todd Lott there to clean things up. One away here in the fourth.
Pavin Parks has really come into his own over the last couple of days. Raised that average up from 176 or so up into the mid-200s. So that's a well-hit ball. Just couldn't quite get under it enough. And the wind is kind of blowing in a little bit.
Yeah, ever so slightly, yeah.
Blowing out towards center field from right to left, but then also in as well.
Now Jacob Goldfarb is the batter. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking back in the second inning. Goldfarb was hitting below 100 in double-digit games for Katuitt this year. Was let go after the Gatemen blew him out. Probably picked up by the Gatemen over the July 4th break. At least it was a break for the Gatemen and a couple of other teams, but some teams like the Hyannis Harbor Hawks did play on the holiday. That one weak, little dribbler, back to the pitcher, but I think he got it off his foot as Goldfarb limps back up to his feet. Walking it off, though. Two and 1 the count to the Oregon Duck. Luke Roscom waits on deck. He's 1 for 1. Training staff along with Coach Snedden out there to take a look at Goldfarb. Try to diagnose exactly what the problem is. Goldfarb with a little bit of a smile on his face. And I think he will, in fact, be okay.
The only thing that's a little worrisome here is the last time the training staff had to come out, it was Parker Phillips, and now he's headed on his way home. After hurting his, I believe it was his right thumb, his right wrist area. Had a removable cast on it yesterday, and he will head home in the next couple of days, back to Tennessee. So Goldfarb, though, looks much more okay here, I guess is the right word.
That's a good word. Yeah, Parker Phillips took a pitch off the hand, essentially. Now from the windup, Hollowell again. That one in the dirt, 3 and 1. Bases empty, no one out, 2-1 Harbor Hawks. We're in the top of the fourth inning. Umpire calls time back in. The pitch. Hard hit over to second, but gobbled up there by Como. Over to first for out number 2. Sharply hit ball, but all that Como had to do was drop down to his knees. To field that one, now Luke Roscom, the batter. 1 for 1 with a run, scored about as productive a day as you can have through one at bat. Holloway deals first pitch, change up, strike. Breaking ball misses upstairs. Roscom, the power bat from Nebraska. Sends a chopper up the middle. Como backhanded, pops out of his glove, and Roscom is safe. Would have taken a very good effort there by Como to spin around and get Roscom. And Roscom, not too speedy a guy, but he is aboard here for the second time in as many innings. Now Isaac Collins has continued his hot stretch of hitting with a single in the third inning. Sharply hit up the middle.
They'll score a single here for Roscom. I think that's the right call there from our official score.
No, I agree with you.
Como ranging away from the bag, had to go backhand. Still would have been a tough play either way.
Now the switch hitting utility man from Creighton steps in. Started the season off as a middle infielder, primarily second baseman, but now a right fielder. They started to hit with remarkable consistency, so you got to stick him somewhere, and Don Sneddon has opted to stick him in right field. He's performed admirably at the plate and in right. Strike one now to the Maple Grove, Minnesota native. And that one lifted deep into center field, but Rivera seems to have a beat on it, ranges a few feet back, and makes the catch. The Gatemen get a base runner but do not score. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, still 2-1 Hyannis here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Stop by for a nice lunch or a relaxing dinner. Brewfish offers 20 rotating craft beers on tap and creative pub foods such as fish and chips, sticky ribs, pulled pork, delicious burgers, and pizza. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas on Sundays. The Brewfish Beer Garden is now open for outdoor dining under the tent and casual dining and drinks at the outdoor bar, along with live music on Friday and Saturday nights as well as Sunday afternoons outside. Brewfish Bar and Eatery is located on Route 105 in Marion.
South Coast Health, operators of Charlton Memorial Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, and Toby Hospital, delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Health, the best care plus something more.
The Gatemen wish to thank Patty Wild and the trustees of the John Wild Charitable Trust for their continued support of Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
Welcome back to McKeon Park, 2-1 Hyannis on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Enrique DeMore and JD Ranchi bringing you the action here from Hyannis. Cade Cavalli's day is done to start off the fourth inning for Hyannis. It is Tyler Kaiser, formerly of Eastern Florida State Junior College, now pitching, or at least will be this next spring with the Miami University Hurricanes. Down there in a tough ACC conference, will be pitching to Luke Roscom. He got on base for the second time today in the past half inning, but was stranded at first base. Isaac Collins gave one a ride to center field, but pretty much right into the glove of Eric Rivera.
We'll see if Tyler Kaiser can control the strike zone a little bit better here. He struggled in his last couple of outings, although he was absolutely stellar at the beginning of the season. His best outing coming against Harwich in the loss at White House Field. His last outing, he went 2 innings, gave up an earned run, 3 hits against YD. And does start before the outing before that, also against YD, did not record an out and gave up 2 runs on 2 hits. So he's looking for a bounce-back outing here, trying to come out with a scoreless outing after Cade Cavalli struggled.
Starts things out with a fastball, rip and a miss by Kyle Wilkie. Wanted all of it and got absolutely none of it. Kaiser, like you mentioned, a bit of an up-and-down year, but we've seen a live arm from the Florida right-hander. The pitch. Swinging a lazy fly ball into right center field. Over on his Isaac Collins and makes the catch just in front of Jeremy Idens, who's playing center field today. 1 on now for Will Holland.
It's a good start there if you're Tyler Kaiser. Just a shallow fly ball, not well hit, nothing hard off of him. He's got to be a bridge here to the rest of the bullpen. You'd like to see him go long relief here after Cade Cavalli. You only got 3 innings out of him.
Hard fastball, doesn't miss by much though. Like you said, JD, seems like so far so good from Kaiser. Only a 1 batter sample size, but Will Holland chops that one foul, 1-1. Seems like the fastball has been firm. He's been locating it pretty well around the edges of the strike zone so far. That one in the dirt. First pitch that he's missed badly with. You can see Kaiser kind of shaking his right hand. I think that one just slipped. Seems like he's got good command so far. That one fouled off, took him to a knee. Looks like he fouled it off himself. Twisted as his back foot kind of got caught in the dirt. Went down Adrian Beltre-esque, but didn't look nearly as comfortable doing it. He seems to be okay. Third base coach for Hyannis went down to check on him, but Holland's still searching for that first Cape League hit. He's 0 for 5 so far on the summer. Bounced into a double play his last time up. We've seen 2 Gatemen double plays today, and they've been known to turn them, but early on in the season it was really tough for the Gatemen to do so, but defensively turning the double play. 2 today so far for Wareham. And that one, ooh, got him on the upper arm. See, now that sounded more like what a ball off the elbow sounds like.
Yeah, Seth Gray tried to sell it, but his teammate Will Holland actually got hit with one, so he will trot down to first. And now that double play you were talking about in order for the Gatemen, not exactly the way they want to do it. You'd rather keep runners off base if you can at all, but double play now in order with Holland on at first.
That one to the left. 1-0 the count on the 9-hole hitter, Eric Rivera. Retired Isaac Collins in the last frame. Has reached via the walk today. Pickoff attempt over to first base. Nothing doing. Runner takes off. Strike. Over to first. Over to second, I should say. Not in time. Under the tag is Eric Rivera. Or excuse me, Will Holland. Just took the 1 for an 11 on the back of the jersey. Rivera now with a runner in scoring position. 1 away. His team 1 base knock away from getting a 2-run lead here over the first place Wareham Gatemen. With a win today, Hyannis will move into a tie for first, 28 points apiece. With a win today, the Gatemen will move 4 points ahead. That one shot right at Lyle Lockhart's going to go over to second. And that throw sails into left field. But holding up at second base is Will Holland.
Just had flashbacks to last night.
You're telling me.
An errant throw to the left side of the infield. Luckily, that one didn't get too far away. But still, I think Lyle Lockhart should have just held that ball, should have just ate it. He really didn't have a chance at Holland moving back.
Yeah, that would have been a very tough play, but Lockhart, like you said, he looked a little rushed on the throw. Didn't really need to make it. 1 away or 2 away here. Tried to end the inning all by himself, but Davis Wenzel trying to do the opposite, trying to extend it for his Harbor Hawks. Now one in the dirt, gets away from Roscom, rolls with a brick. Over to third goes Holland. Now that 2-run lead just 90 feet away for Hyannis. That one sent high and deep into left field. Going to get down for a base hit. Giving chase is Jacob Goldfarb. Follows it into the corner. Fires it into his infield. But a stand-up double for Davis Wenzel. And that 2-run lead, as we talked about, on the board now, 3-1 Hyannis.
It's a good piece of hitting from Davis Wenzel. Got a pitch on the inside corner. Just turned on it. Didn't hit it terribly hard. Just turned quickly and got it in a good spot. Rolled all the way to the wall as it tailed down and toward the foul, toward the foul line, and he's on with the RBI double.
Now another runner in scoring position, this time for Braden Como. He has scored 2 runs but has not driven in any, but with a swing of the bat could do just that. Hyannis struck first in the first. Both teams traded a run apiece in the third, and now back in front with their biggest margin of the day, 3-1 in favor of the Harbor Hawks. That one a strike at the knees to Braden Como. I think 348 on the year. Best on his team besides Matthew Barefoot. He's actually second best average in the league. Then he fouls that one back. The final line on Cade Cavalli. We saw the walks get the better of him. 4 hits, 2 earned runs in 3 innings. 5 walks, pair of strikeouts as well for the freshman from Oklahoma. Kaiser from the stretch. That one laced into right center field, a base hit. Coming around third is Wenzel. He will score standing up. An RBI single for Braden Como. And the offensive outburst continues for Hyannis. 4-1 Harbor Hawks.
Tom Kaiser just left to pitch up. Como continues his good days. Reached base all 3 times. He's come to the plate now, so Hyannis has really been able to figure out these Gatemen pitchers today, and I think a lot of it has to do with location. Cade Cavalli, 5 walks. Now Tyler Kaiser has left a couple up in the zone, and that's been the offense today for Hyannis. Nothing hit too hard, just 1 extra base hit for him.
That one a ball low. Like you said, nothing too special. Even that Davis Wenzel double used the speed to get over to second. He just hit it to the right part of the park. That one a bona fide single from Como. He's 2 for 2 on the day. 2 runs and an RBI, having himself an awesome afternoon. Hard hit ball into center field. Pick off over to first. Como back in there safely. And that one laced into left field. Might get down for a base hit. Jacob Goldfarb diving attempt. Did he hold on to it? He did! What a grab as he slid across the ground. And he retires the side. And ends the threat for Hyannis. They do get 2 and lead it 4-1 here in the 4th. To go to the top of the 5th from McKeon Park on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar and Grill for their support.
Established in 1877, TM Ryder is a family-run insurance agency located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Ryder's goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they really value giving the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Row if you would like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game will be played at White House Field in Harwich Sunday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., gates open at 2. One highlight will be the Cumberland Farms home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Support the Gatemen in part by purchasing your ticket right now at the merchandise booth. Tickets are just $5.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. 4-1 Gatemen, 4-1 Harbor Hawks. That's not the case. Gavin Hollowell back to work for his 5th inning. He's given up 4 hits, 1 run so far. A couple strikeouts for him and just 1 walk. He's had himself a pretty darn good day. See if the Gatemen bats can come alive. They registered base hits in their last 2 innings after coming up completely empty in their first 2. It'll be Oliver Dunn, Jeremy Idens, and Sahid Valenzuela. 9-1-2 for Wareham. Try to get something going against Hyannis.
Leading off the 5th inning for Wareham, the second baseman for the University of Utah, number 50, Oliver Dunn.
Oliver Dunn delivered with the sacrifice fly in the 3rd to score Luke Roscom. That has been the only Wareham run of the day. Blown away to the Gatemen's second baseman today. Thought about that one, but decided to let it go. 2-0 to Dunn. Had himself an awesome year in the Pac-12 at Utah University, but struggled on the Cape this year. It was the first start we've seen him had in a long, long time. 2-0, rip and a miss. Wanted that one. Tipped it into the glove of Kyle Wilkie behind the plate. 2-1. I want to strike on the outside corner. Well done. Evens the count at 2-2. We talked about it, how 2-0, you're 2-0, 3-1, you're looking for 1 pitch in 1 location. You like that low and in, but didn't like it low and outside, and now gets one high and outside. To the lefty Dunn. Count runs full. Payoff pitch. Swinging a chopper up the middle, ranging up the middle. Not going to get it is Braden Como. And Oliver Dunn with a base knock, and the Gatemen have something going early here in the 5th.
Not incredibly well hit by Oliver Dunn, but puts it in a good spot. When you're struggling as much as he is, you'll take anything. It's kind of in a similar situation to Skylar Hunter, who had a little bit of a fluky hit yesterday in the loss to Falmouth. So you'll take what you can get if you're Oliver Dunn. Boost that average ever so slightly, and now you've got a runner on at first. He's done his job for the top of the order.
I couldn't agree with you more. Sometimes all you need to do is put the ball in the right spot, no matter how. Infield a double play depth now for Hyannis with Jeremy Idens at the plate. Takes strike 1 on the outside corner. 1 for 2 today. Idens has really picked it up offensively and gotten back to what we saw him do in the beginning of the season for him as he came on to the Gatemen at about the 10-game mark. His first game was actually the first time these two teams played, the 9-0 blowout at Spillane Field. Pickoff attempt over to first. Dunn back in there safely, but Idens has hit safely in his last few games, up to .333 on the year. Hard fastball, outside corner, 0-2. Another pickoff attempt over to first. Dunn with a little bit of speed. Hasn't got a ton of opportunities to show it off, however. As we mentioned, he's been struggling a little bit to get on base this year. From the stretch, Holloway. Swinging a high fly ball, shallow. Right into the infield. Braden Como reaches up and makes the catch. Just a few feet shy of Pedro Pages at first base. One away here for the Gatemen in the 5th. Zahid Valenzuela now the batter. He's 0 for 2. Ground out and a fly out.
The next man for Wareham, the shortstop from Kells Fullerton, number 3, Zahid Valenzuela.
First pitch to Valenzuela, outside, 1-0. Valenzuela, another fantastic day yesterday. Multi-hit affair for him. 3 for 5 with an RBI. With that 404 average, doesn't have as many plate appearances as is necessary to qualify on the league-wide leaderboards, but if he was on it, would be one of the few hitters to be hitting 404. Leader, of course, is Austin Shenton, and second best is Matthew Barefoot. Came in today hitting 375. Only 1 for 2 performance today so far, 379. Another pickoff attempt over to Dunn. Man, oh man. Really giving him a lot of respect there at first. So long as he doesn't get caught, any attention that he is managing to get. Gavin Hollowell to devote to him over at first. He's not devoting to Valenzuela at the plate. Valenzuela ahead of the count here, 1-0. 1 out, 1 on for the Gatemen, trying to get back into this one. Fake steal. That one hammered down the right field line. Going to get down for a base hit. Should be extra bases for the speedy Valenzuela. Rounding first, he'll be into second. Dunn rounding third. Will be held up by Mike Mobbs. The throw sails over the head of Davis Wenzel, but corralled nicely by the third baseman, Seth Gray. Second and third now with 1 out for Austin Shenton.
That's the kind of at-bat you need out of Zahid Valenzuela, 0 for 2 coming into the AB. He's one of the guys that's been the best hitter on your team. He and Austin Shenton have been the most consistent in terms of average and in terms of putting the ball in play. Laces a double down the right field line, and now you're in business. Second and third, just 1 out. So a lot of ways Austin Shenton could score Oliver Dunn and possibly Zahid Valenzuela.
Shenton has been in these situations a lot of our big RBI guy as well. Not a big strikeout guy. Part of the reason he has seen his average be so darn good. Was hitless in yesterday's ball game, but that was absolutely the exception rather than the rule for this kid. That one in the dirt. Bounce off the glove of Wilkie. Coming into third, screaming in is Oliver Dunn. He slides in, and the Gatemen trail it by 1. 3-2 Hyannis. Oliver Dunn has driven in a run and scored 1. How about the second baseman from Utah producing today, JD?
He's having a great game. Sac fly and an RBI in the first at-bat in the third inning, as you mentioned. And he gets this inning going. Little soft dribbler that just barely squeaks through the middle infielders for a hit. Comes in to score, and the Gatemen are even more in business now, down just 2 runs. So Austin Shenton can at least make this a one-run game with pretty much anything, and could make it a tie ball game with 1 swing of the bat.
You and I like to talk about so much how with a runner on third and 1 out, your life as a hitter is made so much easier. Not that it's easy to hit a round ball with a round bat when it's coming at you at 90 miles an hour, but it's about the best case scenario for a hitter, and he laces that one no problem into left field, and the Gatemen have tied it up. Austin Shenton with a hard hit single into left field. Excuse me, it is 4-3. For whatever reason, I was under the impression Hyannis had 3 runs. My apologies there. They do trail it by 1, but 2 big runs coming in on back-to-back pitches for the Gatemen. Now 4-3 here, and Lyle Lockhart is the batter.
What else are you going to say about Austin Shenton? Guy's the best hitter in the league, pretty much bar none.
Yeah.
Average, he hits well into the gaps for power. Not a super power guy, not going to hit one out of the park very often. He's got 2 home runs on the season, but he's a guy that's going to spray it into all fields. Went the opposite way that time on an outside fastball and said, listen, if you're going to give me outside fastball, I know that's how you want to pitch me. I'm just going to do with it what I've been doing with it the whole season. Send it the other way, base hit, keep the runners moving. Another RBI for Shenton.
Love to see it, and now Lyle Lockhart is the batter. Got to imagine, I think this will be Hollowell's last inning of work. Got a right-hander warming up out there in the Hyannis bullpen. And if I'm getting my money's worth out of my contacts, I'll be able to tell you exactly who that is shortly. Meanwhile, ball 1 to Lockhart.
Looks like the right-hander Ryan Pepio out of Butler.
22. There we go. Yeah, I thought that was 22. I just couldn't find him on the roster. And Pepio is good. He has been absolutely nasty to Gatemen hitters. He's a huge, high strikeout guy out of Butler. That one sharply hit off one bounce off the chest of Como. Spinning throw. Brought Pages off the bag. And an infield single, maybe an error. We'll see exactly how they score that, but fact of the matter is, first and second here with one out. Now Pavin Parks is the batter. He is 0 for 2 today, trying to break out of that in a big way here.
Just like Dunn, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Well hit ball. Skipped off Braden Como's glove. It was going to be a tough play for him either way. He still made a pretty good effort and was able to corral the throw as much as he could. And that looks like it'll be the end of the day for Gavin Hollowell as Chad Gassman is out from the dugout for Hyannis.
Looks like it will be indeed after a pair of hard hit balls and a pass ball that allowed Oliver Dunn to score. Puts Zahid Valenzuela at third base to allow Austin Shenton to drive him in all the more easily. His day is in fact over. Besides this inning, a pretty good day for the right-hander from St. John's. We'll be right back with more information on the Hyannis reliever here in the fifth inning. The Gatemen trail it by 1, 4-3 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care. Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone, a home run.
Eastern Propane and Oil is the Wareham Gatemen home run sponsor. Each time a home run is hit by a Gatemen player, Eastern Propane and Oil donates a camp scholarship to a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. My name's Enrique Demore. To my right, J.D. Ronchi, and on the hill now for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, Ryan Pepio out of Butler. He has had an absolutely electric year this year. His strikeout numbers are truly nothing short of incredible. Almost at 2 an inning. He's inherited a bit of a tough situation here. 2 on, 1 out, and his team trailing or leading by just 1, but it was a 4-1 lead when they came into the inning. Zahid Valenzuela with a double, Austin Shenton with a single, Oliver Dunn got things started with a single, while Lockhart managed to reach base in what we've not got an official scoring yet. Might have been an infield single, might have been an error. We will see exactly how that is scored in just a second, but the more pressing problem right now for the 6'3 right-hander from Butler is Pavin Parks at the plate. 0 for 2 with a long, and I mean long, flyout to right field. Pepio, like we mentioned, 24 strikeouts in almost 4 innings of work. I mean, that is just ridiculous. And a 3.95 ERA to go with it. He has been very, very good. He's had 8 appearances so far, 1 start. 6 walks, 9 hits given up. To Parks upstairs. We're getting word back that it is in fact scored a hit. So an infield single to Lyle Lockhart. Papiat trying to shut down the Gatemen. Swing and a miss on that one. Up and away in Pavin Parks. You see the body language, frustrated at himself a little bit, but trying to bounce back here.
Ryan Pepio, we talked about how he's kind of had an incredible season all year long, but he's been especially good against the Gatemen. 2 innings, 6 strikeouts. He struck out everybody he's faced in a Gatemen uniform this season.
Wow. Yeah, it was 2 1-2-3 innings where he struck out the side in every inning, wasn't it? Yeah. I remember that. I got to call both of those for WCTV, so I was by myself. I have yet to be. I think I've yet to be, besides watching Pepiot pitch, as excited about an opposing team's success, because he really is just a ton of fun to watch. Right-hander kicks and fires. That one's skied high and deep into left field. Barefoot going back on it, parks himself in front of the wall, and makes the catch. Now make that 6 of 7 Gatemen he has struck out. Obviously still an absolutely ridiculous clip. But a big out here, 2 away, 2 on for Jacob Goldfarb. Searching for his first hit in a Gatemen uniform. He is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout.
The left fielder from the University of Oregon, number 45, Jacob Goldfarb.
Hollowell, 4 1/3 innings of work. 2 strikeouts, just the 1 walk. Back in the 3rd inning to Austin Shenton. Gave up 4 hits just in the 5th inning alone, and that is what knocked him out of the ball game. Pavement Parks back-to-back at-bats in as many innings where he has given the ball a ride. He's let it hang up in the air just long enough to let these Hyannis corner outfielders get under them and make plays on them. Jacob Goldfarb is trying to get his team back into this one. They trail it by 1, 4-3 to be exact. Austin Shenton sits at second. He drove in Sahid Valenzuela on an RBI single. On misses outside. Two and 1 the count. Pepiot working extremely methodically. Takes his time getting set up. From the stretch, holds the glove about belt high. Kicks, fires. Swinging a foul straight back, 2-2.
Good fight here from Jacob Goldfarb. Knows with 2 outs, this is going to be not his last opportunity, but the last opportunity in this inning for him to score Austin Shenton. Shenton with probably average speed, maybe slightly below average on at second, but if you put one in a gap, you've got a good opportunity to score him.
I agree with you, JD, but he does have good baseball IQ, and he's a good base runner. That one outside, count runs full. We haven't seen him outright steal or attempt to steal too many bases, but he does a good job of reading balls in the dirt. Reading balls out of pitchers' hands. He's able to capitalize on those. So he gives himself as many bases as he can once he reaches base, which, as we know, is pretty darn often. Two on, 2 out. The full count offering to Goldfarb. Outside, he lost him. The bases are loaded for the Gatemen. Luke Roscom is 2 for 2 on the day, trying to take the lead for his Wareham Gatemen. They trail it by 1. Wilkie out to talk to his pitcher before Roscom comes to bat.
Ryan Pepio is mortal, apparently.
The next batter, the catcher from Nebraska.
He can do more than just strike out Gatemen. He's now had one fly out and then allowed the first base runner of the season for him against Wareham. Full count walk to Jacob Goldfarb, and now Luke Roscom comes up in a big situation, and the guy that has been up and down in terms of what he's done at the plate this season. 2 for 2 on the day. He can deliver a third single here. He'll score 1, if not 2 runs.
Like I said, JD, he is 2 for 2. 1 sharply hit, 1 not so much. You thought about that one at about eye level. Makes you think of what you said earlier, how guys' eyes get real big, and Luke Roscom, his favorite pitch in the world is a high inside fastball. He's a dead pull hitter, but he's been at his best when he can hit balls to all parts of the field. Thought about that high outside fastball, shooting it into that big old gap between the left field foul pole and Matthew Barefoot out there in left. Misses with that fastball outside. Brian Pepio is absolutely hurling right now. We don't have a gun on him out here. Well, some guys do, but we can't see it. We think that's coming in mid-low 90s?
At the very least. Not a terribly big guy, but something about his mechanics, or some guys just throw hard. 6'3", 210, so not a guy you'd expect to be a flamethrower from the likes of maybe a Aroldis Chapman.
Now on a strike at the knees. Good frame by Wilkie. Booped it just back into the zone. Was a good pitch, though. Pepiot kicks and fires. Now on a strike at the knees. Luke Roscom quickly behind 2-2. Has yet to swing the bat in this at-bat. Going to have to if he wants to do something heroic here. Although I suppose with 2 more pitches, he could walk off the island and tie this game up for the Gatemen, although I don't imagine that's the way he wants to do it. If we know anything about Ryan Pepiot, it's not the way he likes to do it either. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Went straight fastballs, and then the breaking ball retires Roscom. The Gatemen leave them loaded, but they get 2 back. And through 4.5 here, the Gatemen do trail it by 1, 4-3 Hyannis at McKeon Park on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
The 80 Makepeace Company also owns and operates Reed Custom Soils, the area's leading manufacturer of custom soils, including CU structural soil and Rooflight certified green roof media. Reed Custom Soils is also a manufacturer and distributor of baseball infield mix and conditioners. To learn more, visit 80makepeace.com or reedcustomsoils.com.
At E.L. Morse Lumber, commitment to the customer shines through in every aspect of their daily operations, including their competitive prices, complete product selection, and superior customer care. Visit E.L. Morse Lumber, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham, for service with a personal touch.
Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. To the bottom of the 5th inning we go. The Gatemen got 2 in the top half of the inning. They trail it by 1, and for the rest of the way home, we're going to give it to my broadcast partner, J.D. Rachi. J.D., take it away.
Thank you very much, Henrique. Tyler Kaiser, the right-hander out of Eastern Florida State Junior College, headed off to Miami, is back to the mound for the Gatemen here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He'll deal with 4, 5, 6. Pedro Pages, Seth Gray, and Todd Lott due up for the Hyannis Harborhawks. A little bit of a delay here as Luke Roscom made the final out of the inning in the top half of the 5th, so he had to get his gear back on, but he just wants 1 ball into him, and then they will throw it down to second. Final warm-up pitch here for Kaiser, who struggled in his first inning of work, last inning in the 4th. Went 1 inning full, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned after coming on in relief of Cade Cavalli, and things don't get any easier here with the big Pedro Pages leading it off for Hyannis. Page is 0 for 2 today, flied out to right field in the 1st, and then grounded 6-4-3 into a double play in the 3rd inning.
Number 37, Pedro Pages.
Pages has been one of the more dangerous hitters on this Hyannis team this season, although the average has dipped a bit of late at just .262 coming into today's game. Right-hander Kaiser rocks back, kicks high and fires. First pitch is fouled off the end of the bat. Check swing from Pedro Pages on an elevated fastball. It's 0-1. 4-3 Hyannis here from McKeon Park. Last time the Gatemen will make the trip to Hyannis this season, at least in the regular season. Could, of course, see them in the playoffs. The 0-1 pitch from Kaiser. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-1. Pages, the big burly right-hander, typically a catcher but playing first base today at a Florida Atlantic University. 1-1 from Kaiser, here it comes. Fastball inside, 2-1. One of two FAU Owls on this Hyannis roster, both in the starting lineup today. His teammate Eric Rivera, the center fielder, is in the 9 hole for Hyannis this evening. Out of the full windup, the 2-1 pitch from Kaiser. In there for a called strike on the inner half. Count is even at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. The right-hander Kaiser rocks back his pitch. Fouled back into the netting, straight behind home plate, and we'll do it again at 2-2. Six hits thus far for Hyannis. 2 for Braden Como, 1 for Davis Wenzel, 1 for Seth Gray, and 1 for Todd Lott. Still 2-2 to the right-hander Pages. Here comes the pitch from the right-hander Kaiser. Swung on, hit on the ground to Lyle Lockhart, drops to a knee, picks it up and races over to first base, tags the bag himself. 3 unassisted on the putout, and there's 1 gone for Seth Gray.
Sharply hit, but Lockhart did the intelligent thing there as that one was skipping pretty close to the ground and just dropped to a knee to avoid the potential tough hop there. 3 unassisted, like he said, JD. 1 away here for Seth Gray.
Seth Gray, the left-handed hitter out of Wright State. As we mentioned, has a hit today. First pitch to him misses inside, had to hop himself out of the way to avoid being hit by what looked like a slider out of the hand of Kaiser. It's 1-0. Gray 1 for 1. Walked in the first, singled in the third. The 1-0 is waved on and missed. Nasty breaking ball. Gray's way out in front of it. We've got an even 1 ball, 1 strike count. Gray slightly open stance. Rip in his back left pocket. 1-1 is swung on and looped into left field, and it's going to get over the head of Jacob Goldfarb. It'll roll to the wall for extra bases. Seth Gray up to second with a stand-up double. There's a runner on at second, and 1 out for Todd Lott.
2 for 2 now for Seth Gray, been on base 3 times. Also got an RBI on the day, and you see the back and forth continues between these two teams. It was the first time we've seen this kind of game, especially between these two teams. 1 for Hyannis in the first. Wareham got 1 back. Hyannis scored 3 more. Wareham with 2 more to pull themselves within this one, and now Todd Lott with 1 out has a runner in scoring position. Could give them a bigger lead right back, should he choose to do so.
Big Todd Lott, the right-hander out of Louisiana Lafayette, with a runner in scoring position at second base. First pitch to Lott is swung on, hit under the glove of Austin Shenton at third base, and into left field for a hit. Seth Gray up to third, but a good throw in from Goldfarb. Now there are runners at the corners with just 1 out for Kyle Wilkie.
Hard hit right to the right spot. Nothing really Shenton could do about that. He gave it a good effort. It was hit just far enough away from into that 5-6 hole. That's why I got to hit the ball hard on the ground. Sometimes it doesn't matter really where you hit it. You hit it quick enough, sailed into left field. Runners at the corners. Luke Roscom giving his signs for the first and third defense. Now he's going to drop back into his crouch to face Kyle Wilkie.
So runners at the corners, 1 out. Double play ball is in order. Oliver Dunn and Sahid Valenzuela play a double play depth up the middle. Wilkie 0 for 1 today, walking a fly out to his credit. First pitch from Kaiser is a breaking ball in at the knees for a called strike, 0-1. Wilkie, the catcher out of Clemson. We've seen he and Brady Lindsley really split the catching duties over the last couple of weeks for Hyannis. Pages has become almost the everyday first baseman. Small lead for Lott at first. The 0-1 pitch is swung on, tapped down the third base side, but it'll roll foul. Shenton, Kaiser, and Luke Roscom all came in to play it, but there is no play to be made, and we have an 0-2 count. Kyle Wilkie hitting .250 this season with runners in scoring position. He's got 5 RBIs, 16 at-bats. That means he is 4 for 16 this season with runners at second or third as Kaiser throws over, but Todd Lott is back in headlong at first base. 4-3 Hyannis here in the bottom of the fifth. Harbor Hawks threatening again against Tyler Kaiser. Steps off, another throw over to first base. This time, Lott is back in standing up. 2 runs across to score for the Gatemen in the last half inning. Hyannis trying to extend their lead here in the bottom half. Pitch to the right-hander is swung on, hit in toward the 3.5 hole, but it's going to be stopped by Austin Shenton. Over to second for 1, but scoring from third is Seth Gray. It's now 5-3 Hyannis here in the fifth.
Yeah, not much the Gatemen could do about that. Austin Shenton thought he might have gone to first with it, but went with the slightly bolder play. Oliver Dunn used all of his frame to reach out and grab that one. Kept his foot on the bag. 5-4 fielder's choice. Puts Kyle Wilkie aboard here, and the Harbor Hawks, like you said, retake that 5-3 lead.
I should say that ball was hit toward the 5.5 hole, not the 3.5 hole. First pitch into Will Holland, misses low. Looked like the changeup from Tyler Kaiser. Count moves to 1-0. So runner on it, first now in Kyle Wilkie, RBI fielder's choice for him. Kaiser looks back at first a couple of times. The 1-0 pitch is hit right back up the middle and through into center field, a base hit. Kyle Wilkie up to second. Will Holland on at first. That's his first hit in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks uniform. There's runners at first and second, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth for Eric Rivera.
Yeah, the hit parade continues here for the Harbor Hawks. 3 hits already in this inning to add on to the 6 they had beforehand. They've done a good job of runners in scoring position. Just 5 runners left on so far compared to the Gatemen's 9. The Gatemen have left them loaded twice. We're talking about that on break, JD, and how much of a problem that has been for Wareham. And Hyannis ran into that. Whenever I ate, came back up to try and bite me, but it didn't succeed. Hyannis had that problem last time these two teams met at McKeon Park. We mentioned how the Gatemen actually were out hit. The Harbor Hawks left 15 men on base despite losing by 14, but Hyannis done a much better job so far here.
And now Tyler Kaiser's day is done. Jim Lawler out to get him. And we are going to see the pitching debut of Paven Parks for the Gatemen. He goes 2 ways at Kent State. Apparently he's going to go 2 ways here on the Cape as well. We'll have everything you need to know about Paven Parks as a pitcher when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Are you hungry? Visit the concession stand for some new menu items. Try fried dough, chicken fingers, or french fries along with your regular favorites, hot dogs, burgers, cold drinks, and ice cream. Proceeds from the concession stand support the Gatemen and the Wareham High DECA program.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The Bay Point Golf Club offers a unique collection of 18 championship golf holes, a beautiful banquet facility, and a club host that has a fully stocked pro shop. The Bay Point Grill is a perfect place to grab a meal or watch a game. The course is located off of Onset Avenue in Buzzards Bay. The Gatemen thank you for your support.
Paven Parks to the mound now for the Gatemen here in the bottom of the fifth. It's 5-3 Hyannis. Runners at first and second with 2 outs is the situation for Parks. Started the game today at DH and will be making his first appearance as a pitcher here on the Cape this season at Kent State. 5 appearances, 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, all earned. 2 walks and 3 strikeouts for Parks. A .350 batting average against for the right-hander.
A tough year at Kent State for him pitching-wise, but he is a two-way guy, and he didn't get 5 appearances for no reason. Clearly, he's got some stuff that he's looking to show off here. We saw after his debut, he took reps on the hill post-game. He comes into a tough spot here, and this is pretty similar to the last two-way guy we saw pitch for the Gatemen, Lyle Lockhart. It was in a situation where the opposition was ahead by a couple of runs, as that one is ball 1 low. Opposition ahead by a couple of runs. First appearance Hitting from the DH spot. First appearance as a two-way player for Wareham. Now, Lyle Lockhart, things didn't go his way, but Pavin Parks trying to get the Gatemen out of this inning.
The 1-0 from the right-hander misses low on a breaking ball. It's 2 balls and no strikes from the right-hander Pavin Parks to Eric Rivera. Rivera is 0 for 1 today, walked in the second, then lined out to the first baseman Lyle Lockhart in the fourth. And the best part about this move is you don't have to make any batting movements now because Pavin Parks can still hit the rest of the way. 2-0 fastball inside corner called strike. 2-1. So no defensive alignment changes with a quote-unquote position player coming into the game. He will keep his spot in the order, and now he's just pitching on the mound. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch from the right-hander comes in and hits Rivera right in the back.
And this is how it starts. The command hasn't been good through batter number 1 for Parks. A couple breaking balls that have missed low. He dropped one in there for a strike, but to drill a guy right in the back, that's just a bad miss. The wrong side of the plate. And now the bases are loaded. 2 away for Davis Wenzel, but man, oh man. Probably the biggest batter of the game coming up so far here for Wareham to deal with.
Both runners in scoring position are the responsibility of Tyler Kaiser. So now it looks like Parks will start from the full windup now. A little weird to see with the bases loaded. His first pitch is a breaking ball inside corner called strike, 0-1. So Parks was out of the stretch for the first batter he faced, now out of the full windup with runners on base. Rocks back, kicks and fires. 0-1 pitch misses low and away on a breaking ball. 1-1. Wenzel today 1 for 3. 2 strikeouts in the first and second, and then a double and a run scored in the fourth. It was an RBI double as well for Wenzel. 1-1 misses outside. Looked like a fastball that time from Parks. 2 balls and a strike. Wenzel this season with runners in scoring position at .333 with the bases loaded. He is 0 for 2, although he does have 2 RBIs. 2-1 inside, now 3-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th inning. Gatemen trail at 5-3 here for McKeon Park. Pavin Parks, the third baseman DH, making his pitching debut right now for Wareham. 3-1 from Parks. Up and inside, and it's a walk to Davis Wenzel. Trotting in from third base is Kyle Wilkie, and it's now 6-3 Hyannis.
Second RBI of the day for Davis Wenzel. This seems like kind of what happened against Orleans. Gatemen are very, very, very close to letting this one get away with them, or get away from there, I should say. Braden Como, another batter with the bases loaded.
He's been excellent today, 2 for 2, a walk and 2 singles for the right-hander out of Rice. First pitch from Pavin Parks is up over his head, bounces right off the wall. So Will Holland will retreat back. The bouncy brick coming into effect again here at McKeon Park. Got over the head of the right-handed batter Braden Como, over the glove of Luke Roscom, but then it hit right against the wall, bounced back. Will Holland was charging in and had to scramble back to third base, so after all that, no harm done.
Yeah, no harm done. Like you said, we talked about it the last time there was a game played here where that came into play, and we talked about a home field advantage and how this might actually end up working in the disadvantage of the Harbor Hawks. No harm done here. And even as we look over to the Gatemen bullpen, it seems like Pavin Parks is just kind of a Band-Aid solution. A right-hander warming up in earnest. Can't exactly tell you who it is from here. But if Parks gets out of this inning, I would be very surprised if he came back for the 6th.
So 1-0 the count to Braden Como. A fastball now from Pavin Parks. Misses up and away. It's 2-0. Como, right-handed middle infielder, playing second base today. Had an excellent season at Rice this year. Here comes the 2-0 from Parks. Fastball in at the knees, 2-1. Como hitting the high 300s this season for Rice. I should say mid-300s. 319 this season for the Owls. 2-1 fastball. It's in there on the inside corner at the belt. 2-2. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th inning. 6-3 lead for Hyannis, trying to add to it here against Paven Parks. The right-hander rocks back, kicks, and fires. And a breaking ball is swung on and missed. Down and away, a fantastic pitch from Paven Parks leaves the bases loaded for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. That strikeout brought to you by Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. They do leave the bases loaded, but not before 2 runs come across to score, both being charged to Tyler Kaiser. It's now a 6-3 Hyannis lead as we head to the top of the 6th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line.
Whatever your goals may be, Joe Crespi and the Merrill Lynch of Taunton will work with you to develop a customized financial strategy designed to help you pursue what's important to you. Managing your wealth and listening to you is their top priority.
Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
Top of the 6th inning from McKeon Park, the right-hander Ryan Pepio back to the mound for Hyannis after the Harbor Hawks grab another 2 runs against the combination of Tyler Kaiser and Paven Parks. In the bottom of the 5th inning, it'll be Isaac Collins, Oliver Dunn, and Jeremy Idens due up for the Gatemen here in the 6th, and this feels like a very pivotal moment for the Gatemen if they want to get back into this game.
Well, it's going to be really tough to do. I agree with you, JD, but it's going to be very tough to do against Ryan Pepio. Although we learned he is mortal as he didn't strike out every single batter he's faced. I mean, that just shows you how good the Pepio has been. And like you said, especially against the Gatemen, he has hurt Wareham big time in his very effective but albeit short relief appearances. This will be the longest he's gone against Wareham, so we'll see if this all of a sudden very effective bottom of the order for Wareham can get something going.
Isaac Collins strides in. The first pitch to him, squares to bunt, pulls it back, but it's a called strike on the outside corner anyhow. It's 0-1. Collins 1 for 2 today, a single in the 3rd and a fly out to center field back in the 4th inning. Switch hitter from Creighton. The 0-1 pitch misses low, 1-1 on a breaking ball. Collins coming into this game hitting just a shade under 300 at 297 on the year. Home run and 4 RBIs. Pepio shakes his head yes to the sign from his catcher, Wilkie. Here comes the 1-1 from the right-hander. In at the knees for a called strike. Collins wasn't terribly pleased with the call from the home plate umpire, Tony Letizio. The count is now 1-2. Oliver Dunn, who's got an RBI today, waits on deck for the Gatemen. 1-2 in the dirt. Fastball skipped into the chest protector of Kyle Wilkie. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Collins, a 2-tone black and tan bat. Black bat with tan tape around it. Long white sleeve on his throwing arm and his right arm. Gray and black batting gloves for the Creighton product. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pepio rocks back. His kick and his pitch. This is outside. Full count, 3-2 now. Gatemen have forced Pepio into a situation he's not too used to seeing. Full count, he had been nearly immaculate, as they say, against the Gatemen through his first 2 appearances. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes on a slightly open stance for Collins. Here comes the payoff pitch from Pepio. Misses inside for a walk. Isaac Collins on with a leadoff walk here in the 6th inning.
Take it any way you can get it. Isaac Collins, like we said, just 1 stolen base on the year, but he is quick. You can bet that even though he's not a conventional, I'll say, base-stealing threat, he is quick and he will detract from Pepio's attention on the mound. Not going to have to focus on just Oliver Dunn at the plate, who's having a pretty darn good day. 1 for 1, single run scored and an RBI. But also focus on Collins at first.
Pepio working out of the stretch. His first pitch to Oliver Dunn rides outside to the left-handed batter. 1-0. Dunn, as we mentioned, an RBI today. Sac fly to center field in the third, and then Singleton scored a run in the fifth. He's having himself a nice little day at the plate. Short lead for Collins at first, being held on by Pages. Throw over, but Collins is back in, right arm extending into the pillow. Dunn hit over 300 this season at Utah, 319 for the Utes. Sophomore out of Salt Lake City. 1-0 pitch, misses outside as well, and it's now 2-0. Two straight fastballs out of the zone from Pepio. Infielders at double play depth. Outfield shaded slightly for Dunn to pull toward right field, so there is a pretty large gap between the left field foul pole and the left fielder Matthew Barefoot. 2-0 from Pepio, in there for a called strike on the inside corner. 2-1. Dunn shook his head, wasn't too pleased with the call, but he'll still stride back in from the left-handed batter's box in a 2-1 hitter's count. Wind blowing slightly in here at McKeon Park. Out towards center field, but then in back on the field. Throw over again, Collins back in headlong. Top of the order on deck, Jeremy Idens, the center fielder out of UCLA. He's 1 for 3 on the day. 6-3 Harbor Hawks, top of the 6th. Gatemen trying to cut into the Hyannis lead. Another throw over, but again, Isaac Collins is back in. Dunn's been waiting a long time for this 2-1 pitch. Couple of pickoff attempts over toward Isaac Collins. We'll see if he'll actually get it here from Pepio as he comes set in the stretch on the third base side. The pitch home. Fastball outside, 3-1 now.
Dunn working himself into a pretty good hitter's count here. The fastball is electric out of the hand of Pepio. He hasn't been locating it quite as well as he's wanted to. Does have the walk to Isaac Collins. Did walk Jacob Goldfarb in his last frame. Now, great hitter's count here for Dunn.
3-1 pitch is swung on, rocketed high and deep into center field. Eric Rivera will track back and it'll get down and roll to the wall. Isaac Collins around from first. He'll score. Oliver Dunn all the way up to third, and it's an RBI triple for Oliver Dunn. The Gatemen cut into the lead. It's now 6-4 Hyannis.
Wow. What a spot for Oliver Dunn to show up and finally break out of a season-long slump. 2 for 2 today, his second RBI, 90 feet from scoring his second run of the day, and he hit that one to the deepest part of the park, to the base of the 394 sign there in dead center. Have yourself a day, Mr. Dunn.
Now volunteer coach Ron Polk will come out and have a chat with Ryan Pepio on the mound. There is some action, but it doesn't look like anything significant here for Hyannis. A left-hander warming in the pen for the Harbor Hawks. But Oliver Dunn steps up big and just the outfield was slightly in. Oliver Dunn not a power guy, although he does have a home run this season. And Eric Rivera had no chance at it. Sharply hit right over his head. It was to dead straightaway center. Rivera had to run straight back, but he wasn't going to be able to get there in time. So now the umpire, Tony Letizio will come out and break up the conference on the mound. The entire infield was in to talk with Ron Polk and the right-hander Ryan Pepio, and it's not an easy part of the order coming up here with a runner on at third and still nobody out. Jeremy Idens representing the top of the order. The right-hander out of UCLA strides in.
And Jeremy Idens only 1 for 3 on the day today, but has been hitting the ball a lot better as of late. 329 coming into this at-bat. And like you said, runner at third, less than 2 outs. Life is pretty good if you're a batter. Gatemen trailing by 2, he does represent the tying run.
First pitch to Jeremy Idens is a breaking ball that cut into the inside corner for a called strike, 0-1. As we mentioned, Idens 1 for 3 today. Struck out looking in the first, singled in the third, and then popped out to the second baseman Como back in the fifth. Right-hander Pepio kicks and deals. Nice breaking ball inside corner, another called strike. Idens thought he might have swung the bat there, but decided not to. It's 0-2. Oliver Dunn at third base, after the RBI triple, still nobody out. Pepio set the pitch. Up at the eyeballs of Hyannis. Lays off, 1-2. Breezy, chilly night here at McKeon Park in Hyannis, but still a beautiful night for baseball, as are most nights in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Ball and 2 strikes. Pepio takes a deep breath, comes set. Belt high, his pitch home is swung on, hit to the right side of the infield, into the glove of Braden Como. Oliver Dunn scores from third as Como throws on to first for the out, so it'll be a 4-3 RBI ground out for Jeremy Idens, and the Gatemen are within 1. It's 6-5 Hyannis.
There's that second run aforementioned for Oliver Dunn. He's having himself an absolutely awesome day. And Jeremy Idens delivers as well. Hit the ball hard on the ground. Good things are going to happen. Got a fastball on the mid-outside part of the plate. Took it right back where it came. Not a hard hit ball, but Como and the rest of the infield for Hyannis playing deep. Allow the run to score. Strike one is delivered to Sahid Valenzuela now. With the bases empty, the Gatemen are back within 1.
Valenzuela, the switch hitter batting left from Cal State Fullerton. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Double and a run scored back in the 5th inning. 0-1 from Pepio, looping breaking ball, outer half, called strike. Quickly 0-2 to Valenzuela. Coming off a 3 for 5 performance yesterday. Coming into this game at .404, second on the team in batting average, behind only Austin Shenton. 0-2 is waved on and missed. He chased a running fastball out of the zone. Second strikeout of the day for Pepio, and there's 2 gone for Austin Shenton.
Number 12, Austin Shenton.
Shenton 1 for 2 today. Grounded out to the third baseman Seth Gray back in the first, walked in the third, then singled in a run back in the 5th inning. Stocky left-hander out of FIU. First pitch from Pepio. Looping breaking ball in there for a called strike. 0-1. Bases empty, 2 outs. Gatemen within 1 now. Cutting into this Hyannis lead. 2 have come across to score in this half for the Gatemen. 0-1 is a hanging breaking ball looped into right field, but right at the right fielder, Todd Lott, for out number 3. So the Gatemen push 2 across, 1 on an RBI triple from Oliver Dunn, the other on an RBI ground out from Jeremy Idens. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. Hyannis holds a 6-5 lead. When we come back, our host Cam Stewart will have a look around the Cape League. That's when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Get Gatemen gear. Check out the latest styles and colors of your favorite Gatemen apparel. Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise booth.
Back at it in Hyannis for the Gatemen Baseball Network, our second and final look around the league tonight. A couple of games have already gone final so far. YD with a big 10-1 win over Chatham at home, with half their runs driven in by their superstars Noah Campbell and Nick Quintana. Also final down in Falmouth, the Braves gained ground in the West with a 3-2 victory over the Commodores. And we're in the bottom of the 9th at White House Field in Harwich, and the Mariners are in need of a rally as they trail Katuitt 4-1. Finally, they're partying in the streets of Orleans as the Firebirds walk it off over the last-place Whitecaps. Nick Osborne caps off a 2-for-3 day with a walk-off 2-run homer to give Orleans the win in that one. That's our look around the league. I'm Cam Stewart. Now going to send it over to Henrique Demore and JD Rachi for the rest of this one.
Thank you very much, Cam. Great job as always. And now from one pitching debut in Paven Parks to another, the right-hander out of Pittsburgh, Derek West, will get his first look in a Gatemen uniform today.
Another pitching debut, like you said. Right-hander coming into a pretty good spot as the Gatemen prevented the game from spiraling completely out of control. In the last inning, Paven Parks was shaky, but he bent, that's the past tense. He bent, but he did not break. And Derek West, like you said, 6'5", 230, one of the bigger pitchers in this Gatemen pitching staff and bullpen. out of Pitt, making his Cape League debut today.
Finished up his redshirt sophomore season out in Pennsylvania. 3.24 ERA, 13 games, 9 starts for him. 50 innings pitched, 35 hits, 22 runs, 18 earned, 24 walks, and 47 strikeouts. The opponent's batting average at 200 for West. Redshirt sophomore, but he's only pitched once for one season in his collegiate career. Missed 2016 and 2017 with injury. So this is really his first time between this season in the ACC at Pitt and now on the Cape. The first time he is really seeing a lot of the best hitters in baseball come against him. Don Sneddon talking things over now with our home plate umpire, Tony Letizio. It'll be a tough start here for Derek West. Matthew Barefoot, the left fielder out of Campbell, will lead it off. West taking the time to get in a couple more warm-up tosses. It's an interesting motion, to say the least, for West. Right now he's working out of the full windup. Pretty high kick, and then almost reaches back toward his back foot, and then comes straight over the top with a looping, deceptive kind of motion from his right arm. Still Don Sneddon and Letizio talking things over. Looking out in the infield and outfield, it doesn't look like it's a Gatemen change. Still looks like Goldfarb is in left. As best as I can see from our broadcast position, Jeremy Idens is in center. So now we are listening in. It looks like Derek West will at least be hitting in the lineup for now. We'll see if there is a pinch hitter at some point, but he will slot in the 5-hole now, so Pavement Park's day is actually done.
Leading off for the Harbour Hawks, number 28.
So Derek West making his pitching debut here on the Cape, possibly could be making his hitting debut in the next half inning. First pitch from the big right-hander into Matthew Barefoot is a fastball that misses down and away, 1-0. So at first it would be thought it would just be a switch, but Derek West now slotted in the 5-hole in the Gatemen lineup. The 1-0 pitch from the right-hander to Matthew Barefoot misses upstairs, 2-0. Barefoot today, a walk in the first, single in the third, and then flied out to left field in the 4th inning. 2-0 fastball rides inside, 3-0. West out of Orange City, Florida, and Trinity Christian Academy. The 3-0 pitch from the big right-hander misses low. It's a 4-pitch walk, and the first batter he sees. Matthew Barefoot on with a leadoff base on balls. Runner on at first, nobody out for Pedro Pages.
Yeah, not exactly where West wanted to start his Cape League career, but considering that it was Matthew Barefoot, that was one of the better case scenarios. Pedro Pages, he's been a power bat this year for Hyannis, but a little bit on and off. 0 for 3 today, batting .250. The guy on deck, Seth Gray, 2 for 2, single run scored and a walk. He's had himself a pretty darn good day, so West's going to have to try to figure it out pretty quickly here.
First pitch to Pages misses up and away on a fastball. Now Luke Roscom is going to go out and have a chat, as West has missed out of the strike zone with his first 5 pitches. Pages today 0 for 3, as Henrique mentioned. Flied out to right field in the first. Grounded into a double play, 6-4-3 in the third. And then grounded out 3 unassisted in the 5th inning to Lyle Lockhart. Right-hander West working out of the stretch now. Straddles the third base side of the rubber. Pitch home. Fastball right in there on the inside corner for a strike. 1-1. West now will slide over to the first base side of the rubber. Lyle Lockhart holding on Matthew Barefoot at first. Big right-hander comes set, and his pitch home misses low and away. 2-1. Pages, the big burly right-hander out of FAU. Facing off with the Pitt Panther on the mound, Derek West. 3-1 is popped up foul back and right. Now 2 strikes against Pages. Time called by one of the field umpires. As now it looks like something has flown into right field. Maybe a Mylar balloon that got ripped up. Isaac Collins hands it off to somebody in the Gatemen bullpen, but everything seems to be all right out there. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to the right-hander Pages against the right-hander Derek West. West peers in for the sign from Luke Roskin, gets one he likes. Comes set chin high, the pitch home is swung on, hit right back up the middle into the glove of Sahid Valenzuela, on to Oliver Dunn at second for 1, and on to Lyle Lockhart at first. A double play.
And that double play, of course, third one of the day for the Gatemen, brought to you by TM Ryder Insurance Agency. Package your home and auto insurance for the perfect double play. TM Ryder, steering and securing your course for insurance since 1877.
Third double play of the day for the Gatemen defense. Second one that Pedro Pages has grounded into. His woes continue. He is 0 for 4 today. So now 2 gone, nobody out for, 2 gone, nobody on for Seth Gray. First pitch to the right state left-hander is in there for a called strike, 0-1. Gray 2 for 2 today. Walked, singled, doubled in his last 3 plate appearances. Also scored a run in the 5th. 0-1 is waved on and missed. Nasty breaking ball out of the right hand of Derek West. Diving inside to the right-hander, to the left-handed batter, Seth Gray. 0-2, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. West comes set, brings the glove up near his chin, the pitch home. Fastball misses low. 1-2. Gray coming into this game hitting .313 on the season. Has continued to up the ante in this one. So you mentioned 2 for 2 with a walk, a single, and a double. Lefty out of Wright State. 1-2 the count, the pitch. This is inside off the glove of Luke Roscom. It careens back up toward us. Our producer Trevor almost just had a heart attack. There's a gigantic screen in front of us. But still, Trevor veered back in fear.
At least we know his fight or flight response is still working.
It's all right. It was a little scary. Not going to lie. He might want to protect the laptop over there, though. It's already got a pretty big crack in the screen, so it looks like he will pull it back. Smart guy. A ball and 2 strikes the count. The right-hander Derek West to the left-hander Seth Gray. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Looping breaking ball. First strikeout of the day for Derek West. And it's brought to you by Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. Hyannis goes 1-2-3 in the 6th. We're headed to the top of the 7th. Still a 6-5 Harbor Hawks lead when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, we are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
Back for the top of the 7th inning here from McKeon Park in Hyannis. Gatemen trailing the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 6-5, and Ryan Pepio back to the mound for Hyannis. If he gets through this inning, it will be his longest relief outing of the season. So far, he's through an inning and 2/3 in relief of Gavin Hollowell. His longest outing of the season has happened twice. 3 times. 2 1/3 innings against Harwich, Brewster, and Falmouth. He will deal with 4, 5, 6. Lyle Lockhart, Derek West in the pitcher spot. But it looks like Don Snedden will make a change of some variety.
I don't know if he can come in if they have a pitching change or what, so just be aware of it.
So now Pavin Parks is in the on-deck circle. And we heard from the home plate umpire, Tony Letizio, announcing to the official score up in the Hyannis press box that Derek West was in the lineup as a hitter, but now Pavin Parks, who was the DH today, then came on in relief. He's holding a bat in his hand.
Yeah, this is a little confusing. I'm going to be honest. I don't totally know what's going on, and neither does it seem to does anyone really. As Don Snedden having words with the home plate umpire, clarifying lineup changes, meeting adjourned.
Pavin Parks still has a helmet on.
This is weird, man.
Still with a bat in the on-deck circle. So this is what I thought would happen when Pavin Parks was brought in to pitch. I figured he'd just keep his spot in the lineup. He's the DH.
Right.
He'll just turn into the pitcher, and the Gatemen then will sacrifice their DH for the rest of the game. But
I guess you can do this.
Lyle Lockhart, the switch hitter, batting left, the first baseman, will stride in to face Pepio. Gatemen trying to tie this game up or even take the lead, trailing by 1-6-5 here from McKeon Park in the 7th inning. Pepio, the big right-hander out of Butler, first pitch. Fastball inside, called strike, 0-1. Lyle Lockhart today, 1 for 3. Grounded out 6-3, flied out to right field, and then singled back in the 5th. Second pitch is in there, called strike just below the knees, it looked like, but apparently at the knees. It's quickly 0-2 against Lockhart. 0-2 the count. The pitch home from the right-hander Pepio is in the dirt. 2-1. Now the plot thickens here for the Gatemen. Because Pavin Parks is in the on-deck circle, but so is Derek West. And now Derek West is heading back toward the dugout. So this is very interesting here. Really not sure what's going on, but let's deal with the batter at hand. It's a ball and 2 strikes to Lyle Lockhart. The right-hander Pepio is the pitcher on the mound, working out of the stretch from the third base side of the rubber. Pitch home is swung on and hit high and deep into left center field, but it hangs up in time for Eric Rivera to move a couple of steps to his right and makes the play for out number 1.
Lockhart gave it a ride, now moves to 1 for 4 on the day, and the new batter will, in fact, be Pavin Parks. But Don Snedden is going to accompany him to the plate. Feels like a dad dropping his kid off at kindergarten, making sure he gets there safely,
Ladies and gentlemen, the
and he does.
We played this game under protest.
Wow.
So the rest of this game is being played under protest.
Oh, and Pavin Parks, yeah, he's not hitting anymore.
Yeah, so the umpire will not allow Pavin Parks to hit. The rest of this game will be under protest, as Derek West, the hitter, will now hit, or the pitcher will now hit, and now Chad Gassman, the Hyannis manager, is coming out to talk things over with Tony Letizio.
What issue?
Things are going wild here in Hyannis.
What issue does Gassman have?
The pitcher, the University of Pittsburgh, number 24, Derek West.
Not sure what the problem is here.
Yeah, I mean, this is how it should be, right? They gave up the DH spot. They put the pitcher in it, like you said, JD. They forfeit that DH spot the whole game, and the pitcher comes in and and comes in and hits there. So the fact that West is hitting here makes the most sense. Like you said, it was weird when Parks took up the bat and got into the on deck circle, and he's still holding a bat. And it was announced over the PA that we'd be playing this game under protest. But now things are sorted. A couple notes made by the home plate umpire, Tony Letizia. And Derek West is the batter.
Derek West is not a two-way guy, so this is a pitcher hitting.
This would be really fun.
1 out in the top of the 7th. First pitch from Pepio. He swings at the first pitch and fouls it off back and left.
And the Gatemen dugout loves it. You can hear them hooting and hollering over there. They think this is just the best thing to happen all season. And this is one of the more interesting sequences we've seen all season, JD.
An extreme open stance here for Derek West. The 0-1 pitch from Pepio is swung on, hit toward the shortstop. Davis Wenzel in a couple of hops. He will beat the runner Derek West down the first base line for the out. So this game is under protest, and there's now 2 gone in the top of the 7th.
What a ball game. Here in Jacob Goldfarb, now the batter. If you would have seen 45 step up to the plate a couple days ago, that would have been weird as he's taken Matulovic's roster spot and jersey. But Derek West officially 0 for 1 today. What a strange sequence here in Hyannis.
2 outs, the first pitch to Jacob Goldfarb is a looping breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. Goldfarb 0 for 2 today. Struck out looking in the second. Grounded out to the second baseman, Braden Como, in the 4th, and then walked in the 5th. 0-1 fastballs fouled off back and left, and it's now 0-2. Luke Roscom, the left-handed hitting catcher, in the on-deck circle. Should Goldfarb find a way to reach here with 2 outs in the 7th inning against Pepio. Right-hander from Butler comes set. The pitch home is waved on and missed. Running fastball out of the zone. Goldfarb strikes out on 3 pitches, and the side is retired. So this game is under protest, apparently, from Don Sneddon the rest of the way. Very interesting turn of events, to say the least, from McKeon Park. It's been a weird game thus far, Henrique.
Yeah, it really has, and we see now, I don't really know what playing a game under protest really does. I guess I've seen this in the big leagues and at some other levels, but not on the Cape. And this should be an interesting even interview here with our own Mary Orders. She's going to get to talk to Don Sneddon.
She is with Don Sneddon right now. Mary, what is Sneddon thinking about? What's the protest up with?
Thanks, guys. So, Coach, it looks like you wanted Parks to hit there. Can you explain what you think the ruling is?
Well, the ruling just states you can put your DH in the game, have him pitch, and come back out and not DH. And still DH.
And it's a pretty close game. How much do you think this will affect everything?
I don't know. We have a pitcher hitting in a position that we have a pretty good hitter that normally hits in. So, yeah, that's going to hurt us with that. So that's why I protested the game. I think I'm right.
Coach, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Certainly a very interesting turn of events here in the 7th inning. Don Sneddon doesn't appear too happy with the way this game has gone, but Derek West, nonetheless, is back to the mound after a plate appearance. So West is back to the mound after a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th from the Gatemen. Hyannis will try to add to a 6-5 lead here in the bottom half of the inning with Todd Lott coming to the plate. And here's something even more interesting about this matchup. Todd Lott and Derek West, high school teammates at Trinity Christian Academy in Florida.
You see Derek West back on the hill, as the first inning for him started off kind of ugly, but he managed to salvage it, got a double play ball, struck out Seth Gray looking, and delivers ball 1 outside to his former high school teammate Todd Lott. Lott having himself a pretty good day, 2 for 3 for the University of Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajun.
So 1-0 the count. The right-hander Derek West comes set shin high. The pitch home to Lott is swung on, hit sharply on the ground toward third base. Austin Shenton on a backhand. His throw over to first is in time. Good pick from Lyle Lockhart there at first. And there's 1 gone now for Kyle Wilkie.
I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed with Lyle Lockhart and how we've seen him drop into a split multiple times. We've seen him use all of his range, or all of his frame, to keep his back foot on the bag and make intelligent plays at first base. I've been really impressed with him defensively. We know that Andrew Vaughn, of course, what he can do with the bat, but he was a darn good defensive first baseman, and on that front, Lyle Lockhart has more than taken up the mantle here for Wareham.
First pitch from Derek West into Kyle Wilkie, swing and a miss at a fastball on the inside corner. It's quickly 0-1. Wilkie walked in the second, flied out to right field in the 4th, and then reached on a 5-4 fielder's choice and scored a run in the 5th. 0-1. Misses up and in, nearly hit Wilkie as he had to bend his body out of the way. It's 1-1. Ball and a strike to the right-hander Wilkie out of Clemson. The pitch home from the Pitt Panther. Derek West is in there for a called strike. Check swing, but called strike anyway to Wilkie. It's quickly 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes, the pitch home. Breaking ball misses outside and low. Now the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and two the count. Derek West comes set chin high on the third base side of the rubber. The pitch home is popped up foul. Back and right over our heads. We'll do it again at 2 and 2. Two and two, the pitch home, waved on a miss. Big fastball on the outside corner from the right-hander Derek West. His second strikeout of the day, brought to you by Lang Xavaris and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. All right, so this game is being played under protest. How about we tell you what that actually means?
Yeah.
What it means is Don Sneddon says the home plate umpire, Tony Letizio, should have let Pavin Parks bat. He is now playing this game under protest. That means he will file the action with the league, and if this game is reviewed as the first pitch in to Will Holland as a breaking ball misses down and away 1-0. If the league decides that Letizio's ruling of this game, or ruling of Pavin Parks not being allowed to bat, was in fact wrong, we'll have to restart this game from the point of protest.
Wow, wouldn't that be something? I mean, this is a very already condensed schedule. Strike 2 is delivered to Holland here on the Cape. 1-1. The breaking ball missed outside the first one, but it would be interesting to see how logistically this is handled if the complaint does go through.
1-1 from West, fastball down and away, 2-1. This is the last time we are scheduled to come to McKeon Park, so it couldn't be played as a part of a quasi-doubleheader. That's not something that could happen because the Gatemen would have to come back here to McKeon Park. 2-1 is swung on and rocketed into left field. Goldfarb chasing back. It's off his glove. Holland around first, heading for second. Strong throw in from Goldfarb, but in under the tag of Oliver Dunn is Will Holland. That will likely be scored an error, against Jacob Goldfarb. It was a well-hit ball, made him backtrack. He had it in his glove, and it just ticked off the glove and fell right in front of him.
Yeah, like you said, JD, that was a really tough play as Rivera steps into the plate for Hyannis. But I think just by the fact alone that it hit his glove, I think they're going to rule that an error in fact. So far it's being ruled a double, but they could go back and change that. That's not too uncommon to see.
So right now we'll treat it as a double. Derek West is on the mound. Luke Roscom going to go out and have a chat with him. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hyannis trying to add to a 6-5 lead here for McKeon Park. Eric Rivera, the center fielder from FAU, strides in. Right-hander West comes set, looks back at second base where Holland dances. The pitch home to Rivera. Fastball down and away for a ball. 1-0. Rivera today 0 for 1. Walked in the second, lined out to Lyle Lockhart in the 4th, then was hit by a pitch against Pavin Parks in the 5th inning. West working straight away on the middle of the rubber out of the stretch. The 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-1. Ball and a strike to count from Derek West to Eric Rivera. The pitch home for the big right-hander. Gets away from Luke Roscom. He couldn't find it. Now moving up to third is the speedy Will Holland. So the ball came in off the glove of Luke Roscom. Played it relatively nonchalantly, and Will Holland took advantage and moves up to third.
That's just heads-up base running right there. Like we mentioned, that Austin Shenton sort of has that skill set of being able to keep his attention span up and watch the ball as it's careening towards the catcher's mitt, the flight path of the ball. You're able to take a jump off of that. Because like you said, Luke Roscom, I don't think he was expecting it too much. He played it kind of nonchalantly. And over to third now with 2 outs, but a 2-run lead as the Hyannis Harbor Hawks do lead at 6-5 here is just 90 feet away.
So they will rule it a pass ball against Luke Roscom. 2-1 the count to the right-hander Rivera. Here comes the pitch from Derek West. Sprayed foul to the right side. A little bit behind a fastball that time, and we'll do it at 2-2 now. Rivera coming into this game hitting .204 on the season. Now with the at-bat today, he's hitting an even 200, 9 for 45 on the Cape. 2-2 pitch from West is swung on, tap toward the shortstop, Zahid Valenzuela. His throw is over the head of Lyle Lockhart. Scoring from third is Will Holland. Up to second base now as the throw from Lyle Lockhart to Zahid Valenzuela is bobbled by Valenzuela at second. So moving up to second is Eric Rivera. That will almost certainly be scored in error against Zahid Valenzuela, the shortstop for the Gatemen, and now it's a 7-5 lead for Hyannis.
Yeah, I can't imagine how that wouldn't be scored an error for him. He airmailed it by a good 1.5 feet over the head of Lockhart Jr. And Zahid Valenzuela had a tough play to make. He was going to have to make that off-balance throw, but it's a play we've seen him make plenty of times here. For working from second base, is a play we've seen Ryan Kryler make at shortstop, and Zahid Valenzuela is usually a shortstop at Cal State Fullerton. They do, in fact, rule it an error, so an unearned run coming in to score here. But like you said, JD, 7-5 in favor of Hyannis.
First pitch to Davis Wenzel, back to the top of the order. Fastball in there for a strike, 0-1. Wenzel 1 for 3 today. Strikeout swinging in the first and second, double, an RBI double in the fourth, and then later scored a run, and then walked in the fifth. 0-1 the count. Curveball misses low. 1-1. And now that pass ball from Luke Roscom really comes back to bite the Gatemen.
Yeah.
It would have been tough for Will Holland to score all the way from second on that play. So a amalgamation of errors here for the Gatemen has it at a 2-run lead for Hyannis. The 1-1 from West is in there for a strike, or misses up high. 1-0.
And even if that was, he tried to score from second base on the pass ball, maybe he could have had an opportunity there, but the Gatemen might have had an opportunity to make a last-second effort to prevent him from scoring, a throw down to Luke Roscom. Like you said, a 2-run lead for Hyannis.
2 balls and a strike. The pitch home is swung on and popped up back and right. Even count now, 2-2.
Next turn, accidental auto body. You keep that foul ball tonight.
So the count is 2-2 against Davis Wenzel. Runner on at second is Eric Rivera. 7-5 the lead for Hyannis over Wareham here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Right-hander Derek West says yes to the sign from Roscom. Comes set chin high, his pitch home outside. 3-2 now. Three balls, 2 strikes, a full count. West comes set, looks back at second. The payoff pitch home. Swung on, hit back up the middle towards Zahid Valenzuela. Moves over to his left a couple of times, and a strong throw to first is in time for out number 3. But not before Will Holland comes in to score for Hyannis. It's now a 7-5 lead for the Harbor Hawks. As we head to the top of the 8th, Gatemen will try to cut into the lead when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
Top of the 8th inning from McKeon Park in Hyannis. A 7-5 lead for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks over the Wareham Gatemen. This game being played under protest the rest of the way, as Dunstan did not agree with a call from the home plate umpire not allowing Pavin Parks to bat after he was the DH to start the game, came in to pitch, then was removed from the game for the new pitcher Derek West. So the rest of this game is under protest for the Gatemen, as they trail it 7-5 here from McKeon Park. Tommy Jew into center field now to replace Eric Rivera. Defensive replacement for Hyannis. Luke Roscom will lead off this inning against the right-hander Ryan Pepio, who is now working into his third full inning of work after 2/3 of an inning a couple of innings ago. First pitch to Luke Roscom is swung on and slapped back straight to the netting behind home plate, 0-1. Roscom 2 for 3 on the day. Pair of singles in the third and fourth, also scored a run in the third inning before striking out to end the fifth. 0-1 pitch home, misses low and inside. A ball and a strike. Roscom left the bases loaded twice. The Gatemen have left them loaded in this game, once in the third, once in the fifth. Tall stance from Luke Roscom. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Pepio. Looping breaking ball in there at the knees for a strike. 1-2. Isaac Collins, the switch-hitting right fielder from Creighton, in the on-deck circle. Pepio working strictly out of the stretch. The 1-2 pitch is swung on, hit toward the second base side. Braden Como charges in his flip to first in time for out number 1. So Luke Roscom retired 4-3 to start the eighth. And now Isaac Collins will bat with nobody on and one man out. Collins 1 for 2 today, singled in the third, flied out to center field in the fourth, then walked and scored a run back in the sixth inning. His numbers and his on-base percentage continue to climb here as we head into the second half of the season on the Cape. Switch hitter batting left against the right-hander Pepio, Big East rival squaring off. First pitch from the big right-hander outside, 1-0. Pepio, the Butler Bulldog. Isaac Collins, the Creighton Blue Jay. Pepio stares in for the sign from Kyle Wilkie, gets one he likes, comes set, waist high. His pitch to Collins is in there for a strike at the knees. Breaking ball that came from belt high to then just below knee level, but still a called strike from Tony Letizio. It's 1-1. Pepio takes a deep breath. The 1-1 pitch. Waved on and missed. Big fastball blew it right by Collins. And it's 1-2. One gone here in the top of the eighth inning. 7-5, the Hyannis lead over the Gatemen. Ball and 2 strikes. Pepio takes a deep breath. His pitch misses outside. Even count, 2-2. Outfield playing Collins to pull slightly. Decent sized gap between the left field foul pole and the left fielder Matthew Barefoot. The 2-2 for the right-hander Pepio, waved on and missed, but it gets behind home plate. Isaac Collins racing down, big strong throw from Wilkie gets him. And again, the bouncy brick coming into play. And also, Collins just didn't realize that the ball had squirted away. So a big throw from Wilkie, 2-3 on the putout. Fourth strikeout of the day for Ryan Pepio. Add the 2-3 putout, and there's 2 gone here in the top of the eighth for Oliver Dunn. Dunn, the left-handed hitting second baseman out of Utah. He is having a stellar day at the plate. Sac fly in the third to pick up his first RBI of the day. Single and a run scored in the fifth, and then how about an RBI triple in the sixth inning? And scored a run in that inning as well. First pitch to him this time around, squares to bunt, pulls it back, but it's in there for a strike anyway. 0-1. Dunn, the black shin protector on his right leg facing the pitcher, Ryan Pepio. Slightly open stance for him as he bends just ever so slightly at the knees. 0-1 is waved on a miss. Nice running fastball that we've seen Pepio break off a couple of times. Breaks away from left-handed batters. And it's 0-2 on Dunn. Jeremy Idens, the right-handed hitting center fielder, waits on deck. The 0-2 is swung on and popped up straight back, but out of play over the press box here at McKeon Park, and we'll do it again at 0-2. Dunn coming into today's game was 3 for 36 on the season, a .083 batting average, but now with the 2 for 2 day, he is at 5 for 38. 0-2 fastball just misses out of the zone. 1-2. So Dunn now up over 100 on the season, 132 for the middle infielder out of Utah. Trying to deliver here with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Pepio comes set. His pitch home is swung on and pumped high and deep to right field, but it looks like it'll hang up in time for Lott. Right back toward the warning track. Todd Lott comes out underneath it for out number 3. The Gatemen go 1-2-3 in the 8th against Ryan Pepio. Still a 7-5 lead for Hyannis as we head to the bottom half of the inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails. Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Derek West back to the mound for the Gatemen in the bottom of the 8th inning. Wareham trailing Hyannis 7-5 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Braden Como, Matthew Barefoot, Pedro Pages, 2-3-4 due up for the Harbor Hawks in the inning. Como, the second baseman out of Rice, is 2 for 3 on the day, a pair of singles and a strikeout plus a walk for him. He's also scored 2 runs. He'll try to get it going here against the big right-hander out of Pittsburgh. First pitch from West to Como is in there for a called strike. 0-1. Como, the right-hander, in his first year in D1 baseball this season. 0-1 from West is in there for a called strike at the knees on the outer half. Good fastball. Quickly 0-2. Como, the two-tone brown and tan bat, waves it over the plate a couple of times as he pinwheels it. Derek West comes set chin high. His 0-2 pitch comes in. It hits Como on the arm. Definitely not what you want if you're Derek West. You had Como 0-2, a complete pitcher's count there. Plunks him on the arm. Second time today that Gatemen pitching, or third time today I should say, that Gatemen pitching has hit a Hyannis batter. Will Holland hit by Tyler Kaiser in the 4th. Paven Parks hit Eric Rivera in the 5th, and now Derek West plunks Braden Como. First pitch to Matthew Barefoot is a breaking ball that misses down and away. A ball and no strikes. Barefoot walked in the 1st, singled in the 3rd, flied out to left in the 4th, and then walked again in the 6th. He's 1 for 2. Right-hander on the mound comes set. Pitch home to Barefoot. Fastball in the inside corner, called strike. Barefoot turned to swing, but then pulled it back. Called strike anyways from Tony Letizio. 1-1. Lyle Lockhart holding Braden Como on at first base with a modest lead. West checks over there. Now comes set on the first base side of the rubber. The pitch misses low, gets under the glove of Luke Roscom. It bounces back off the brick, but moving up to second goes Braden Como. So now a runner in scoring position with nobody out for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Fastball just skipped under the glove of Luke Roscom. will be scored a wild pitch. That's at least the fourth wild pitch or pass ball this game for the Gatemen pitching staff, and really it's been a location problem the entire game for Wareham pitchers. That is what has put them in this 7-5 hole. Pitch home to Barefoot, is swung on, hit on the ground toward the third baseman Shenton. Nicks off his glove, trying to glove it on a backhand, and moving on to first is Matthew Barefoot. No throw from Shenton. So now first and second, still nobody out for Pedro Pages. So we've talked about a couple of times this season. At times Shenton just started moving toward his throw before he had the ball in his glove, kind of like a football player running without the pass. So now first and second, nobody out for a good hitter in Pedro Pages, trying to break out of an 0-for-4 day today. Big burly right-hander from FAU. Squares to bunt, try to lay down a sacrifice, but the first pitch into him misses low and away for a ball. 1-0. E5 on the error for Austin Shenton, so Matthew Barefoot reaches on an error. He's at first, Braden Como at second. See if Pedro Pages squares to bunt once again. West working from the first base side. He does square, gets one down, but it's foul off of Luke Roscom's chest protector. 1-1. Pages has struggled today. Flied out to right field in the first. Grounded out 6-4-3 on a double play in the third. Grounded out 3 unassisted in the fifth, and another 6-4-3 double play in the sixth inning. Ball and a strike. Right-hander Derek West twists the ball behind his right hip. Now comes set left foot in front of the right. Corners are in. Pitch home. Misses inside. It's now a 2-ball, 1-strike count to Pedro Pages. Lyle Lockhart starting well in on the lip of the grass. Austin Shenton right before the lip. Middle infielders at double play depth. Outfield straight up for Pages here. Squares to bunt once again. 2-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 2-2. Pages not happy with himself. Pulled the bunt back. He knew he could have bunted on that one, and now with 2 strikes, he'll probably have to swing away here. Gatemen will still play in on the infield corners, although Austin Shenton slightly further back than he was before. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The right-hander West comes set. His pitch home is swung on and popped up on the infield. Infield fly rule in effect, but Saeed Valenzuela will make the catch just for giggles. There's now 1 gone with runners at first and second on the infield fly rule pop out by Pedro Pages.
The third baseman from Wright State, number 18, Seth Gray.
So Braden Como still at second, Matthew Barefoot still at first. Como hit by a pitch, Barefoot reaching on an error in this 8th inning. Hyannis trying to add to a 7-5 lead here in the bottom half of the 8th. Seth Gray, the big left-hander from Wright State, strides in. First pitch home from West. Misses low and away. Clips off Roscom's glove, but he keeps it in front of him. 1-0. Gray is 2 for 3 on the day. Single, a double, and a strikeout. Also a walk to his credit, as well as a run scored. The 1-0 pitch from West is in there for a called strike. Good firm fastball from the right-hander out of Pitt. Right in at the knees. 1-1. Gray, one of the better hitters on this Hyannis team. He's become pretty much the everyday third baseman for the Harbor Hawks. Ball and a strike, peak back at second. Pitch. Looping breaking ball, swung on and hit over the head of the pitcher, Derek West. Saeed Valenzuela fields throws, but his throw is not in time, and Hyannis loads the bases on an infield single from Seth Gray. Was just a chopper right back to the mound, and it's pretty hard to get it over the 6'5" frame of Derek West, but somehow Seth Gray found a way to do it. Hustled down the first base side, and a strong throw from Saeed Valenzuela, all things considered, did not beat him to the bag. So now there's the bases loaded for Tommy Jew. Right-hander West comes set. First pitch to Jew is fouled off. Looked like it might have been off the catcher's mask of Luke Roscom. 0-1. Jew coming in to play center field, but he replaced in the order the right fielder lot. So Eric Rivera is now in right field with Tommy Jew in at center. Lott's day is done. Finishes up 2 for 4 on the day. They give way to Jew here. Coming into this game, hitting 172. Although he has only been on the Cape for a couple of weeks, he has struggled thus far against Cape League pitching. 0-1 pitch, waved on a miss. Good breaking ball, tailing away from the right-handed bat of Tommy Jew. 0-2 the count to him here out of UC Santa Barbara. Bases loaded, nobody out. Gatemen at double play depth, trying somehow, some way to keep this at just a 2-run ball game. The 0-2 from the right-hander West is swung on, poked into right field. Isaac Collins racing back. It's over his head. Scoring from third, here comes Braden Como around second and into score as the throw comes to plate. It was a good throw from Isaac Collins, but Matthew Barefoot comes in to score from second base. Luke Roscom couldn't corral it. It's a 2-run single for Tommy Jew and a 9-5 lead for the Harbor Hawks here in the 8th. Looked like Collins might have had a play on it, but of course, not an everyday outfielder. Came a little bit too far in, and he's not a huge guy out there, so it skipped over his head. We'll see how they score it, but it's certainly, if you're given the benefit of the doubt to both the hitter and the fielder, that looked like a single from here. So now 9-5 Harbor Hawks, first and second runners on. First pitch in to Kyle Wilkie, misses down and away, 1-0. They will score a single for Tommy Jew. So 2 RBIs on the single for the UC Santa Barbara outfielder. Kyle Wilkie 0 for 3 on the day, although he has scored a run and reached base twice, once on a fielder's choice, once on a walk. 0-1 to him is fouled off to the right side. And out of play.
Rapid fans, takes their friends at XML Auto Body. You can keep that foul ball tonight.
9-5 Hyannis. Bottom of the 8th inning. Trying to tack on a couple more insurance runs here against Eric West. A ball and a strike to count. A couple of looks back at second. Here's the pitch from West. Fastball misses down and away. Good stop by Luke Roscom. It's 2-1. Seth Gray at second. Tommy Jew at first after the 2 RBI single from Jew. 2-tone bat waved over the plate by Kyle Wilkie. The pitch home from West. In there for a called strike. So 2-2 the count now. After the called strike from the home plate umpire, Tony Letizio. Right-hander West looks in for the sign. Comes set chin high. The 2-2 home. In there for a called strike 3. Big strikeout for Derek West. The third of the day for the right-hander. As always, it's brought to you by Lang XFRs and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. So first out of the inning recorded here, or second out of the inning here for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 2 gone, runners at first and second. Will Holland, the DH, out of Auburn, strides in. Short guy, bends his knees to the extreme in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch from West, misses outside and low as well. A ball and no strikes to Holland. Holland grounded into a double play in the second. Was hit by a pitcher and scored a run in the 4th. Singled and was stranded at third base in the 5th, and then doubled and scored a run in the 7th inning. 1-0 for the right-hander, waved on and missed out in front of a changeup from Derek West. Ball and a strike now. The single back in the 5th and the double back in the 7th. First 2 hits of the season for Will Holland. New addition to the Hyannis Harborhawks roster. West steps off the mound now. Recollects himself and steps back on. Big right-hander working from the first base side of the rubber. Tucks a tan glove into his left hip. Twists the ball behind his back. Now looks back at second as he comes set. Another look back at second. The pitch home. Looping breaking ball in there for a strike. 1-2 now. So Derek West and the Gatemen just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. 2 runs have already come across to score against the big right-hander West. Holland waves a black bat over the plate twice. The pitch home from West is waved on and missed. Big fastball. Blew it right by the right-hander Holland, and that will do it for the 8th inning. 4th strikeout of the day for the right-hander West, brought to you by Lang Safaris and Bullard. But not before 2 more runs come across to score against him. We're headed to the top of the 9th. Gatemen down to their final 3 outs. They'll try to come back from a 9-5 deficit when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings to boats. Village Signs has proudly served southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Gatemen down to their final 3 outs in the top of the 9th inning from McKeon Park, and it'll be the right-hander Dylan Thomas to oppose them, the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior, out of the bullpen for the Harborhawks. This season at Hawaii, the 6'4", 195-pound right-hander had a fantastic season, sub-2 ERA at 1.85, 26 games out of the bullpen, went 39 innings, gave up 27 hits, just 8 runs, all of them earned. And the walk-to-strikeout ratio was more than beautiful for Dylan Thomas. 4 walks to 43 strikeouts, a 200 batting average against.
Yeah, that's how you do it. And I think, going back to the roster debate that we love so much, I think a Rainbow Warrior, top 10 coolest mascots in D1.
It is a great mascot.
Fantastic.
It is not the
mascot.
Ute,
no.
So it is great. But I digress. He'll have to deal with the top of the order here in the 9th. Jeremy Idens will lead it off for the Gatemen. Hyannis tacked on 2 in the bottom half of the 8th to bring it to a 4-run ball game. This game still being played under protest by head coach Don Snedden. Gatemen have scored runs in each of the last 2 innings. First pitch in from Thomas is a fastball that skips about 4 or 5 feet in front of the plate. 1-0. Idens coming into this at-bat, 1 for 4 on the day. Struck out looking in the first, singled in the 3rd, popped out to second base in the 5th, and grounded out to second base in the 6th. 1-0 pitch is fouled off to the right. Little tapper towards Sahid Valenzuela in the on-deck circle. 1-1.
Little out ahead of that one, try to do a little too much with that outside pitch. Maybe that one travel a little more, try to shoot it up into right field.
1-1 from Thomas. Misses low and outside again, pretty much the same pitch as the first one, overthrowing the fastball. 2-1. This season has been stellar for Thomas on the Cape, a 1.58 ERA. In 9 games, he's got 4 saves, Went 11 1/3 innings, giving up 8 hits, 1 walk, and 16 strikeouts. Flamethrower sends one home, but it's fouled off back and right and out of play. And we'll do it at 2-2 now. The last and the first outings of the season for Thomas have been the only runs scored against him. 1 in 1 inning against YD back on July 5th, and 1 in 1 inning against Falmouth back in the beginning of the season. Jeremy Idens looks at a 2-2 breaking ball in the outside corner for a called strike 3. Second strikeout of the day, both looking for Idens. He moves to 1 for 5 on the day. First strikeout of the day for Dylan Thomas, and now the Gatemen are down to their final 2 outs with Sahid Valenzuela coming to the plate.
Valenzuela is as well a strikeout victim, but 1 for 4 on the day. Double and a run scored back in the 5th inning. Came in to score on the Austin Shenton single. And Valenzuela, Shenton, and hopefully Lockhart for the Gatemen. Try to get something going here.
First pitch to the switch hitter batting right is swung on tap toward the second baseman, Braden Como. On 2 hops, his sidearm throw to first. In time, 2 gone. Gatemen now down to their final out, but this is the guy you want hitting if you're Wareham. Austin Shenton to the plate.
Absolutely. I mean, he's come up in a lot of clutch situations. We saw the walk-off home run against Orleans early on in the year. There's a guy who can extend the game, extend the inning for the Gatemen. It's this guy right here, 1 for 3 RBI single in the 5th, also walked in the 3rd.
First pitch to him from Thomas. Fastball out of the zone, but he tried to check his swing and couldn't. Went around, according to the home plate umpire, Tony Letizio, 0-1. Shenton today, 1 for 3, grounded out 5-3 in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, singled in the 5th, and lined out hard to right field back in his last at-bat, and this fastball comes in and gets him on the ankle. Hard fastball right on the right ankle for Austin Shenton. Doesn't seem to be too banged up as he trots down to first base. Now runner on at first with 2 gone for Lyle Lockhart.
I think that one, thankfully, for Shenton, or at least the way I saw it, maybe the noise it made as well, seemed to catch more shoe than ankle. So, but like you said, JD is just fine. Not just for the good of this game, but for the good of the second half of the season. He's been the best bat in this Gatemen lineup and probably in the entire Cape League with that plus 400 average.
Thomas now working out of the stretch. His first pitch to Lyle Lockhart is a diving breaking ball that misses inside. 1-0. Lockhart, the switch hitter, batting left out of Houston. He's 1 for 4 on the day. A ground out, 2 flyouts, and a single for him. Thomas stares in. Now comes set, chest high, lowers the glove to his waist. Kicking a pitch. Misses inside. Breaking ball in the inside corner. Wilkie stood up after the call from Tony Letizio. He clearly wanted that to be called a strike, but it was not there. 2-0.
And it took a little something off, and like you said, JD, it missed inside because up and down wise was about waist level. Really good pitch there from Thomas.
2 balls and no strikes, 2 head nods from Thomas. The pitch waved on and missed. Lyle Lockhart, a big hack way behind the fastball out of Thomas's hand. This is probably the most lively fastball we've seen today, and that's even with Ryan Pepio coming in this game for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Dylan Thomas is throwing gas up there. 2-1 in there for a strike. Breaking ball called on the inside corner. 2-2. Gatemen down to their final strike. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Austin Shenton at third. The pitch home is swung on and hit into the air toward left field, but Matthew Barefoot races in and makes the play for out number 3. This game ends under protest, but as it stands right now, a 9-5 win for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks over the Wareham Gatemen. The season series is now 3-2 in favor of the Gatemen.
Tough one for the Gatemen, JD. It seemed like the Hyannis offense, they really came to play. Excellent effort by Gavin Hallowell. He had a pretty good day, all things considered. On the other side of things, Cade Cavalli struggled with command early on, but it seemed like the Gatemen really had a fighting chance of getting back into it in the middle innings. Ryan Pepiot was electric, and Dylan Thomas with a shutdown 9th inning. Absolutely. For for Hyannis. Zahid Valenzuela, an offensive contributor today, just 1 for 5. But Luke Roscom and Isaac Collins tripped in with hits. And Oliver Dunn, I mean, he really had the highlight performance, I think, today. 2 for 3, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. Brought his average from the mid-zeros, if you will, to 50-60 mark to 128, which is a dramatic improvement in just one day. Good to see him producing from that second base spot.
Tough day for the Gatemen all around, to be sure, but really it was the location for the pitching staff that really downed the day for the Gatemen.
I think it was, and it started with Cade Cavalli. Like I said, he's missing kind of all over the place. Didn't leave anything too dangerous up in the zone. I mean, the Hyannis hitters didn't really do too much damage with it. Just, hitting-wise, no real long ball, but a couple of doubles. Seth Gray with a double. We saw Braden Como catch fire. Todd Lott had himself a pretty good day. 2 hits for him. Tommy Jew with the clutch 2 RBI single late in the game, pinch hitting. But start off with, there was a lot of men left on base for the Gatemen as well, but just a lot of walks given up by Gatemen pitching as well. 6 on the day, not counting Derek West's numbers as well.
Tough 9-5 loss for the Gatemen, although we want to keep reminding you this game is under protest from head coach Don Sneddon, so we could be seeing these two teams match up again. They will meet at least one more time. That's Spillane Field later in the month, but we could even see another matchup, and as we mentioned, this game will restart from the point where the protest was made. Gatemen down 1 in the 5th inning if that protest is indeed deemed viable and correct for Don Sneddon. All right, that'll do it for Henrique and I here from McKeon Park, and let's get the Gatemen Postgame Show going with our host, Cam Stewart.
Big thank you to JD and Henrique on the call for that one. Like they mentioned, this game is under protest, and we have heard from some good sources tonight that Don Sneddon may actually be in the right trying to pinch hit Pavin Parks in that DH spot for the pitcher spot. It's something we have seen this year, that a DH has gone into pitch and then has been able to hit for himself. So this will be very interesting in what was a 1-run ball game. Hyannis coming away with 3 unanswered to end things and win it 9-5. It was a tough start for Cade Cavalli. In his 3 innings, he gave up 4 hits and 2 earned runs, but the big number 5 walked batters in his 5 hitters' face. 7 free passes given on the night for the Gatemen, and a hit batsman as well. So 5 for Cavalli, a walk by Pavin Parks, and a walk by Derek West. In a game that was back and forth, the Gatemen were able to battle back in the 5th inning, made things a 1-run game, got it to 1 before the protest happened once again. A good game at the bottom of the order for Oliver Dunn, though, 2 for 3 to raise that average up to 128 on the year, including a hard-hit triple late in the ballgame. He is going to be our player of the game. We're going to get him for you in just a few minutes here. But some positive looks for the bottom of the Gatemen order. Oliver Dunn with a nice game today. Isaac Collins once again heating up, playing right field and starting to play every day. But once again, Oliver Dunn's going to be our player of the game. We're going to have him for you in just a minute after this break here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Back in here in the Gatemen Postgame Show, I'm your host, Cameron Stewart, bringing you things today. And right alongside me, tonight's player of the game, Oliver Dunn. Oliver, how you feeling?
We lost, so not great, but it was a good night, personally.
Yeah, good night at the plate for you, 2 for 3, including that long triple out there late in the game. What were you seeing in that at-bat?
I got in an advantage count, and I was just trying to stick to my approach, get a fastball I could hit, fastball I could drive, and he gave me one, so...
In the last couple of weeks that you've been out here, you've really started to work the count and work some longer at-bats. Is that something you've been working on here in the Cape?
Not necessarily. I think it's just kind of a mixture of missing some pitches I could have hit and then just trying to stay disciplined at the plate. So, I mean, kind of, but not really.
Obviously some controversy tonight, the game being played under protest. What's your guys' mindset in the dugout once that happens? How are you feeling from that point on in the game?
We didn't see it as a huge deal, I don't think. Just, I mean, kind of was what it was. We had to keep playing, keep chugging, and we didn't play like we wanted to from there on out, but I don't think it was a result of that.
Oliver, last question for you. You have been deemed with the best hair on the Gatemen. What is your secret?
I don't have a secret. I just kind of let it flow.
Au natural. Do you have anyone who you might think has the best hair in the broadcast team? A long look around.
I'm going to have to go with you.
Oh, look at that. Oliver Dunn picks me. Oh. And they asked what my proudest moment earlier was, so I'm going to have to change that. Thanks as always, Oliver. Good game for you. Hope to get back on track tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Oliver Dunn, our player of the game, and having a little fun with us over here for the Gatemen Baseball Network. So once again, a 9-5 winner for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks today. Gatemen still do have a game against them, and obviously we remind you again, the game under protest, so we could have a bit of the game to be remade here at McKeon Park. Anyway, thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. The producers of today's broadcast was Trevor Russo. Our sideline reporter is Mary Orders. Thanks to our writer Ian Becerra, and today's play-by-play broadcasters Henrique Demore and J.D. Rachi. The next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball will be tomorrow as the Gatemen play the Brewster Whitecaps. We will give you the pregame show on that on our YouTube channel, so be sure to check us out for that. For everyone involved in today's broadcast, I'm Cameron Stewart. Thanks for tuning into this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. One last time, a final from McKeon Park, 9-5, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks over your Wareham Gatemen. We'll see you tomorrow at Spillane Field.